A very, very good evening to all of you. And I'm thankful to all of you who have come here, on a Sunday evening, sacrificing probably an IPL match. But I know you people are here because you have a much clearer goal in your mind, and your goal is probably to crack CAT 2022 and other entrance exams for admissions in 2023. Race to 99 percentile as it goes, race to 99 percentile as it goes has been a flagship event of CL for years now, and every year we conduct this at least 2 to 3 times to make sure we bring to you what our methodology is. You heard it right. Basically, race to 99 percentile is not about solving questions. Race to 99 percentile is not giving you gyanbaji and strategy. Race to 99 percentile has a particular objective, and that objective is this. You may be an engineer or a non-engineer. You may feel comfortable solving VRC or quant or DILRs. You may feel there are difficulties in some other areas, however, right? Solving questions is a completely different ball game as compared to being able to crack cat. When you crack cat, when you take the paper, it is not about actually being able to solve questions. It is about being able to solve questions in that time. It is about being able to choose questions wisely, and essentially race to 99 percentile. This particular flagship session of career launcher is is one that focuses on the methodology or the tricks or busting myths that are often associated with cat, right? We will take you through how is it that you can probably solve a seemingly difficult question. Mind my words, seemingly difficult questions, not difficult questions. Seemingly difficult questions feel easy. And to help you with that today, I have GP sir, Ark sir, and Jijo sir over here who will be taking you through the individual sessions. So let me just showcase what the agenda for today is going to be before I hand it over to GP sir. So the agenda is as follows. The first 5-10 minutes is what I will take for a little bit of objective setting and the introduction to race to 99 percentile. And I have done that even without the slide. I have told you what my exact objective is, what our objective is when we are conducting this session. It is to take you through those tricks. It is to take you through those methods using which you will be able to solve questions faster. Then 7:10 to 8 p.m., the 50-minute slot belongs to GP Sir, where he will be taking you through the smart quant cracker session, where he will be taking you through with methods, simple methods of solving quantitative ability. Following that, the stage will be taken by Jijo Sir at 8:05 p.m. until 8:55 p.m. He will be taking you through verbal ability and reading comprehension. And to end the session today, you'll see Ark sir making seemingly or arguably the toughest section in CAT, making it look easier than how it is often perceived. So that is what the agenda for the day is. So what I have here is the slide where there is a comparison between what score led to what percentile in English, or what score led to what percentile in the overall CAT 2021. Most of you may have seen this quite a lot of times before. Some of you may not have seen this. So let me just take a couple of minutes on this particular slide. 99 percentile last year was at a scaled score of 97 marks. 97 marks is what comes out to be 32 questions. And when you break down that 32 questions, when you break down those 32 questions section wise, you'll find that अरे हर सेक्शन में सिर्फ 10 क्वेश्चंस करने हैं. And if you are able to do 10 questions net correct, if you are able to do 10 questions net correct per section, you'll realize that you will be around 95 to 98 percentile, 95 to 98 percentile in each of the sections. And that is what cumulatively will add up to an overall 99 plus percentile. So basically, if your target is that 99 percentile or more, race to 99 will help you to choose the questions properly, probably select the ways in which, think of ways, alternative ways in which, non-conventional ways in which you can solve the questions and get to the answer quicker. So just a brief intro to race to 99 percentile. Again, see, This particular session is only a 3 hour session. Every year, the race to 99 percentile sessions that we do, or the events that we do, are typically 1 day or 2 day long events. This particular session is a head start, because we understand that at this point in time, some of you or most of you may not have completed a major chunk of your syllabus, and would have been, would be thinking, "Ki, should I or should I not take mocks, start taking mocks? If I take mocks, how can I maximize my score at this point in time?" So in this particular session, which is race to 99, a head start, what we will show is just a way of going towards questions or approaching questions which you may not be familiar with also. So today, 1st of May, we are doing race to 99, a head start. Two more comprehensive sessions will follow in this particular season. We will do in the end of July, we will be doing a race to 99 percentile, the drive, where we assume most of you will seriously have started taking the mocks. And then in the end of in the second week of September is when we are going to take you through the sprint session, जब हम आपको सिर्फ दौड़ाएंगे. Our only focus at that point in time will be running and getting to that target 99 percentile. So yeah, one more thing before we go forward. Now many of you may have registered to this and might be wondering, yes, so session YouTube pe ho gaya. See, because this is only a start, only a head start, there are 6 to 7 months still to go to the session, still to go to CAT. We have opened this session for all of the students, be whether you are a CL student or a non-CL student. This particular session is open to all. The race to 99 drive and the race to 99 sprint sessions that will happen later on will only be open for CL students. That means students who would have enrolled in any of these programs. You may have taken a study material from us, you may have taken a test series, maybe a CAT test series or a CAT plus non-CAT test series, or any of the thousand series products that we have, courses that we have, VRC 1000 or a DILR 1000 or a quantitative ability 1000 or a smart cat cracker for that matter. Or you may be a student in one of our centers, you may be a student in our online course. Irrespective of whichever course you are enrolled with in CL, if you are a CL student, we will definitely help you with these sessions in July and September. And going forward, this is what our broad plan of engagement with you, with in terms of academic and strategic content on YouTube, is going to be. This is only a broad plan as of today. This is only a broad plan as of today. We wish to get this kick started by next month. We will be we will start delivering these videos by the next month. And whatever questions you have about BRC or QA or DILR, please hold your horses. Let the speakers finish what they want to tell you, and the 5 minutes buffer time after each session, they will be taking questions and answering questions if you have any. So without much ado, it is almost 7:10. Let me call upon stage GP sir. And believe me, I am myself a serial 99 percentiler in CAT, and GP sir has never let me relax in terms of ki ye ladka acha hai. Every time I meet GP sir and he solves a question in front of me, he still has the capacity of blowing my minds, and he has been blowing my minds for 4 years now. So this particular session, race to 99 percentile smart quant tracker, is where GP sir will take you through his techniques of solving the questions. GP sir, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Ravi. And so I think we should get started immediately.
Yeah.
I'll just share my screen, and Ravi, if you could just confirm if the screen is visible. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay. Uh, yeah, Ravi, if you can confirm.
Yes, the screen is visible, sir.
Great, perfect. Okay, so let's get started. And before I start, I think it will be useful for me to just share. And Ravi, just one small thing. I can't see the chat box, so if there are any question, you'll have to tell me. Else, I'll take them up at the end of the session. Hmm, okay. Okay, so let's get started. As I said, the first thing is what Ravi has already told you, and since here we are talking about QA, okay, here we are talking about QA. I want you to focus on the marks or the number of questions required. Now, if you look at CAT 21, it had 22 questions of QA. Okay, and roughly, if you attempt roughly half the questions, you will end up with a 99 percentile. That is what this paper is all about. Okay, so one of the things you need to remember is that what is the structure of the paper, because many times when you start preparing, you prepare assuming you have to do everything. This is not a paper in which everything has to be attempted. 99.5 percentile at about 13, maximum 14 questions is what you would be looking at, assuming you get everything right. Okay? And believe me, this is a paper in which it is very easy to get a high percentile. High marks is a difficult thing. So if you say, is it easy to get 55 marks in quant? No, it is not easy. Is it easy to get a 50 plus in DILR or a 16 in verbal? No, it is not easy. But a percentile is a very, very easy thing, and that is what we need to worry about rather than worrying about the marks. Okay, and that's just the same, and rather than worrying about the percentile. Sorry. Okay, okay, and if you look at just the same thing, if you look at comparing with the CAT 2020 paper, okay, if you look at CAT 21 and 20, remember CAT 2020 had 24 questions of QA. Okay, and CAT 21 had 22 questions of QA. So slight difference between the two, but the level of difficulty possibly was slightly on the higher side for CAT 21, which is why you got a 99 or 99.5 percentile at a slightly lower score as compared to the previous year. Okay, so this is a screen, or this is a slide which might be useful for you, and it might be useful for you to take a screenshot of this slide as well as this one. This is something which you should keep with you always, so that you know what is the target which you are looking at. Okay, okay. Now, when we look at this paper, let's look at QA. What is the okay? I think there's some issue in my PPT. Just give me a minute, Ravi. I think let me. I'll take a minute. Show desktop. Okay. Just I'm extremely sorry. Okay. Okay. Let me just come here first. Let me take care of this. Yeah. Now, when you're looking at CAT as a paper, there are two types of students. One is the hardworking, and second are the hardly working types. Now, what is a hardworking test taker? Someone who's going to do everything prim and proper, is going to solve each and every question in the paper without missing a step. And the hardly working type, or the Jigoro types, this kind of a test taker is someone who understands the paper and is not relying on knowledge. A hard-working test taker, by and large, relies only on the knowledge part. It is knowledge which he or she expects that will take him or her through. While this person who's a hardly working type says there are other ways of solving question, and I need not solve every question using the complete steps or the complete method. Okay? And this is important to understand that you need to be a hardly working type, because unlike your school college exams, here you have insufficient time, so you can't complete the paper, especially the quant and DILR papers in this given time. And there are no marks for methods. Methods don't mean anything. Only the answer method matters. It does not matter how you get the answer as long as you get the answer. Okay? So which is why it is important to look at this paper in a slightly different way. Okay. So what is the QA strategy? Remember that 50 to 60% marks will give you a 99 percentile. On the higher side, 60%, on the lower side, 50%. Okay. Second thing, there about two-thirds of the question are MCQs, multiple choice question, which means options are given, and options, please remember, an integral part of the of the paper of the question. If you can read the option, if you can eliminate the option, if you can eliminate 3 out of 4 options, you will get the answer in any case. So you need to look at jugaad methods to eliminate choices also. Additionally, these two are things which are neglected by most of the students. you should calculate orally. You should learn to calculate orally, because if you do oral calculation, you can calculate very fast. Secondly, you need to learn to approximate, because most of the time the choices are not going to be close to each other, and hence if you can approximate, you save time. So oral calculation and approximation are very, very important. And please use a calculator only if there's a very difficult or a time consuming calculation, or it has got very close choices. If they are very close choices, it's a difficult question, then you should use a calculator. Otherwise, usage of calculator is a waste of time. So a hardly working student is one who will do oral calculation, who will approximate by looking at the choices, try to eliminate the options, and make sure he or she reads the options along with the questions. Okay. So what is the approach to be adopted? Keeping in mind that 50 to 60% marks only, or about 50 to 60% questions have to be attempted. Which means if you look at last year's paper, out of 22 questions, if you get 13 right, or maybe if you attempt 15 odd questions, you have done your job. Okay. Okay. So what is the strategy? First thing, you read every question. If it's a question which is easy and you know how to solve, and you think you can solve in, say, within about 3 minutes or so, you solve it. If it's a difficult question, or you don't know how to solve, or you think it will take you 5 6 minutes to solve, leave the question. Don't even worry about it. The art of leaving question is extremely important. You need to learn the art of leaving questions. And if it's a question which is neither easy nor difficult, it is doable by you, but will probably take 4 minutes to solve, mark it for review. Remember, the question paper, the platform has a mark for review button. Mark it for review. After you have done all the easy questions, if you still have time, come back and solve these questions. Okay. So the approach has to be solve the easy questions first, then go to the medium question which you had marked for review, and then that's done. Difficult questions are not to be attempted in the paper at all. Even if you do only the easy questions, you will be able to get a very good score, definitely above 95 percentile in this paper. Okay? So the approach has to be this kind of a thing, which means you read the question, take a call whether you will solve it, or you will leave it, or you will mark it for review. And that call has to be taken in about 30 seconds, which means the time taken to read the question plus 5 10 seconds, take a call and move on. Don't waste too much time in trying to decide what to do with the question. Okay. Now, with this, let's go to CAT 2021 paper, and let's look at the slot 1 paper. Okay. Let's look at the slot 1 paper. Okay. Let me just see if I can go back to the other one platform. Yeah. Okay. No. I'll just close this and go to the PPT only. Okay. Let's look at the first question. Okay. And wherever I use this, the Jugaad methods or the smart quantitative techniques, I'll put a J also, so that you know the technique which I have used. Okay, first question. If the area of a regular hexagon is equal to the area of an equilateral triangle of side 12 centimeters, then what is the length of each side of a hexagon? A simple question. Most of you know how to solve it. What would you do? You will say equilateral triangle side is 12 centimeters. Find the area of the equilateral triangle. Equated to the side to the area of the hexagon. What is the hexagon? It is 6 equilateral triangles, smaller size obviously, 6 small equilateral triangles, isn't it? Okay. And then you will equate the two to find the side of that particular thing. Okay. After all, just to repeat, if this is a hexagon, there's nothing but 6 equilateral triangles. But this is not a long method, but this is a time consuming method, and the right Jugaad method is to use ratios. Okay. The ratios is extremely important, and if you use ratios, you will find that you can do the question faster. After all, what does it mean? If I have an equilateral triangle of sides 12 centimeter, it has the same area as that of the hexagon. So if I look at the big equilateral triangle, and if I say the area of this is, each of this is x, this should be 6x, isn't it? Because this is x each. So the ratio of area of the small equilateral triangle to the big equilateral triangle, ratio of area ratio is 6:1. This is a small equilateral triangle. Okay. If the ratio of area is 6:1, I can call it 1:1/6. So what should be the ratio of side? After all, area square of side. So the ratio of area of side is to be 1:1 upon under root 6. But what is the side of this big equilateral triangle? It is 12. So if this is 12, this should be 12 upon root 6. What is 12 upon root 6? 12 is nothing but 6 into 2 upon root 6, which is equal to 2 root 6. Correct answer, choice 2. So you don't have to waste your time finding the area of the equilateral triangle and then equating it to hexagon. If you just remember the ratio, ratios are extremely important. So in your preparation, make sure you don't compromise on the arithmetic part. Percentages and ratios will help you solve questions not only of arithmetic, but also you'll find me using it in algebra, geometry, and occasionally in permutation combinations as well. Okay. So first question we have done. Okay. Next question. Inequalities is a favorite area of the of the cat paper setters. Secondly, inequalities is something in which people waste a lot of time. So the right approach is not to solve the equation. The right approach is to verify the choice. So here what we are going to do is work with the options or the choices and verify the option which is the right option. What does the question say? If fx is equal to this expression is negative, fx equal to this is negative if and only if. So for which of the following choices is the answer going to be always negative? That's what we want to find. Take a value from the choice and substitute. What value will you take? Take a value of x which is easy to handle. So let's look at this. Choice 1 has a minus 2 to plus 3. Okay. This is minus 5 to minus 2, 3 to 9, minus 2 to plus 3. Okay. So if I take x equal to 0, x equal to 0 is available in choice 1. It is also available in choice 3. It is not available in the other two choices. So if x is equal to 0, what is the value of fx? It is going to be minus 15 upon minus 18, which is going to be positive. But we want it to be negative. What does that mean? X equal to 0 cannot be a part of my answer. Any choice that contains x equal to 0 should be wrong. So two choices eliminated. Okay. Now let's look at the remaining two choices. What are the other two choices? Let's look at them. Choice 2 is my x lies between minus 5 minus 2 or 3 to 9, and choice 4 also has 3 to 9. So if you look at this portion, 3 to 9 is common in both of them, so please ignore anything which is common. We are not worried. We will look at what differentiates the two choices. Choice 2 says x lies between minus 5 and minus 2, and choice 4 says x is less than minus 5. So take a value of x which satisfies at least one of them. Okay. So if you take x equal to, okay, go for a smaller number. Bigger the number, bigger the calculations. So let me take x equal to minus 3. Okay. X equal to minus 3. Minus 3 is available in x in choice 2 and not available in choice 4. So if x equal to minus 3 gives me a negative value, the answer should be 2. If it gives me a positive value, answer should be 4. Okay. So what is fx going to be now? If x is equal to minus 3, again, uh, if you look at this particular expression, minus 3 square is 9 minus 6 minus 15 upon 9 minus 3 means minus 7x will become plus 21 minus 18. Okay. So what does it become? 9, this is negative in the numerator, minus 21 minus 9 is minus 12, plus 9 that is minus 12, and denominator is 21 plus 9, 30 minus 18 plus 12. So this is going to be negative. That means x equal to minus 3 satisfies the correct answer is choice 2. Options is the way for the question of inequalities. If you are going to solve the equation, you will end up wasting a lot of time. Okay. Third question. Amal purchases some pens at 8 rupees to sell those he hires an employee at a fixed wage. He sells 100 of these pens at 12 rupees, remaining at 11, makes a profit of 300. While he makes a net loss of 300 if the remaining pens are sold at 9 each. What is the wage of the employee in Indian rupees? Okay. Now, question is doable. You will form equations to do it. Since we will not have a jugaad method for this, I am leaving this question. But you can solve this question by making equations. So while question 1 and 2 were questions which were easy, which we did with the help of jugaad, I'm saying this is an easy question. You should be solving it, but make an equation and do it. It won't be a challenge for practically all of you. Okay. Question number 4. Two trains cross each other in 14 seconds when running in opposite directions along parallel tracks. The faster train is 160 meters and crosses a lamp post in 12 seconds. Speed of the other train is 6 kilometers less per hour less than the faster one. What is its length in meters? Okay. Again, a standard question of time speed distance. There's a standard question. No shortcut available for this, no jugaad available, hence I'm not solving, but it's the easy question which you should be looking at solving it. one small tip I would want to give you. Please remember that 36 kilometers per hour is equal to 10 meters per second. This is something you should remember always, because this will help you cut down your calculation time. Okay. Remember, the speed is given in 6 kilometers per hour, while everything else in meters per second. So what will be 6 kilometers per hour? It will be 10 by 6 meters per second. Okay. So this is something which you need to remember. And this particular relationship will also be useful for you in the domain of percentages DI, where in a pie chart, 360 degrees is equal to 100%, or 36 degrees is equal to 10%. So when you are doing data interpretation pie charts, the same relationship will be staring at you in your face. Very, very useful to remember this relationship. Okay, let's move to the next question. If R is a constant such that x square minus 4x minus 13 modulus of this is equal to R has exactly three distinct roots, what is the value of R? Now, how many equations are these? These are two equations. Why? Because there's a modulus. So what will be the equations? First equation, x square minus 4x minus 13 is equal to R, and the other equation will be x square minus 4x minus 13 equal to minus R. So what does this become? Effectively, if I look at it in the quadratic form, x square minus 4x minus 13 minus R. So minus 13 minus R equal to 0, and this will become x square minus 4x plus R minus 13 plus R minus 13. Okay, these are the two equations. Now, how can it have three distinct roots? It will have three distinct roots if one of the equation has two roots and the other equation has one root. What does one root mean? That means it is a equation in which discriminant is 0. One root means, okay, for example, let's take an equation, x minus 1 into x minus 1 equal to 0. What is the root? Only one root. Okay. So what you need to remember, if it is going to have only one root, it means that it is a repeated root. That means it is a repeated root. As I said out here, there are two roots, minus 1 and 1. Okay. So if both the roots are the same, if in the case in one equation both roots have to be the same or the roots are repeated, can I not say product of the root should be a perfect square? Product of the root will be a perfect square. If the equation is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, then the product of the root is c by a. Isn't it? Now let's look at this. So what is the product of the roots out here? Based on the first equation, what is the product of the roots? Based on the first equation, it will be, okay, it will be 13 plus, yeah, based on this equation, it is r minus 13. And in this equation, it is going to be minus 13 minus r. Okay, this is the product. So put the value of r from the choices. Put the value of r from the choices. And obviously, this cannot be a perfect square. This is a negative number. This is a negative number, so it cannot be a perfect square. So I only need to check this one. Okay. So if r is 15, r minus 13 will be 2, not a perfect square. 21 means 21 minus 13 is 7 and 1, 8, not a perfect square. 18 minus 13 is 5, not a perfect square. 17 minus 13 is 4, perfect square. So r has to be 17. You don't have to solve the equation. If you're solving this equation, you will be wasting your time, and which is why I said options are an integral part of the question. Look at the options along with the question and remember the basic. It is the basics which will help you. Don't look for high funda formulas or the difficult theorems to mug up. It is the basics which you need to focus on. Okay. Question number 6. A basket of 2 apples, 4 oranges, and 6 mangoes costs the same as a basket of 1 apple, 4 oranges, and 8 mangoes, or a basket of 8 oranges and 7 mangoes. So all these baskets cost the same. The number of mangoes in a basket of mangoes that has the same cost. So it's saying if it was only mangoes, then how many mangoes would be there? And it had to have the same cost. Again, simple question of ratios. People will get down to making equations, but we will not make equations. Okay. So what are the three situations given? The first situation given is apples, oranges, and mangoes. If there are two apples, four oranges, and six mangoes. In the second situation, what do we have? One apple, four oranges, and eight mangoes. One apple, four oranges, and eight mangoes. And the third situation is eight oranges and seven mangoes. So zero apples, eight oranges, seven mangoes. Now don't try to solve the equations. Just compare these two equations. Look at the first two equations, A and B. Oranges is the same. If I reduce one apple, I have to add two mangoes. What does that mean? Price of one apple is the same as two mangoes. You have removed one apple. Instead of two apple, it becomes one. Six becomes eight. You move one apple, add two mangoes. That means apple should be equal to two mangoes, right? Now we need to find how many mangoes. So if I look at this, I also need the relationship between oranges and mango. So let's check out. So in this equation B, let me just change the color of my pen. Okay, yeah. In this equation B, if I remove this apple, what will I need to do? I should have two mangoes. So how much will this become? This will become 10 mangoes. Okay. So now again compare these two. If you increase four oranges, you have to remove three mangoes. What does that mean? Four oranges is equal to three mangoes, right? So we want a basket to be containing only mangoes. So let's look at this one. This already has seven mangoes. Instead of eight oranges, how many mangoes do we need? Four oranges are equal to three mangoes, so eight oranges will be equal to six mangoes. 7 plus 6, 13. Okay. Correct answer, choice one. Again, the issue is, are you willing to use ratios? I have a basic discomfort with people wanting to make equations, solving equation. That's a good method for your school and college exam. That's a stupid method for a paper like CAD, where you have options, where you can do work, where the steps don't matter, and hence you have to work this way to get the answer faster. That is a approach you have to take in your preparation, that when you're doing questions, see if you can apply these methods. Okay. Okay. Amount Nita and Geeta earn together in a day equals what Sita earns in 6 days. The amount Sita and Nita earn together in a day equals what Geeta alone earns in 2 days. Ratio of earning of the one who earns the most to the one who earns the least. So ratio of the earnings of the person who earns the maximum amount to the person who earns the minimum amount. Okay. Again, no equations to be formed. Let us try to understand this. This is again one of our jugaad methods where we look at ratios, and you'll find me using these ratios very, very often. Amount Nita and Geeta earn together in a day is equal to what Sita alone earns in 6 days. Let me assume Sita earns 1 rupee per day. So in 6 days, Sita will earn 6 rupees. Okay. Okay. Let me just erase this one. Yeah. Okay. So Sita in 6 days will earn 6 rupees, isn't it? So what will Nita and Geeta will earn in a day? Nita and Geeta will earn in a day 6 rupees. Why? Because Nita and Geeta will earn exactly what Sita will earn in 6 rupees. So when you look at Nita plus Geeta, in a day they will earn 6 rupees while Sita will earn only 1 rupee. So in a day, if all three of them are working, will they not earn a total of 7 rupees? Or can I say hence can I say Sita will earn 1 out of 7. Sita earns 1/7 of the total amount. Okay, let's look at the second thing. The amount Sita and Nita earn together in a day equals what Geeta alone earns in 2 days. So now let's do the same thing for Geeta. If in one day Geeta earns 1 rupee, okay, so in 2 days Geeta will earn 2 rupees. So Sita plus Nita will now earn 2 rupees in a day while Geeta alone will earn 1 rupee. So if Sita, Nita, and Geeta are working together, they will earn total of 3 rupees, out of which Geeta will earn 1 rupee, or Geeta will get 1/3 of the amount. Okay. So who's the third person left? Nita. How much will Nita earn? Okay. So how much is this? 1 by 7 is 14.28%. I'm writing it as 14.3%. 1 by 3 is 33.33. I'll write it as 33.3%. So out of total of 100%, 14 plus 33, 47.6% is gone. So what is left? 100 minus 47.6 will be 52.4%. Okay. Okay. So if you have total of 100 rupees are earned, Sita will earn 14.3 rupees, Geeta will earn 33.3 rupees, and Nita will earn 52.4 rupees. We want to find the ratio of the one who earns the most to the least. Most is Nita and least is Sita. Nita will earn 52.4, Sita will earn 14.3. Look at the choices, not close to each other, we will approximate. What is this ratio? If this is 1, 14 threes are 42, say about 3.7. Okay. 10 by 14 is about 0.7. So that is why I just said about 3.7. So the ratio has to be 1 is to 3.7. Look at the choices. 3 is to 11 is to 3 is nothing but 3.66 is to 1 can be the answer. Choice 2 is nothing but 1.5 is to 1. Wrong. Choice 3 is 2.33 is to 1. Wrong. And this is about 1.5 is to 1. Wrong. First choice. Okay. And please look at the way the approximations have been done. I have not taken it to be 14.28. I have not bothered about 0.33. I'm just taking an approximate value. I have not even calculated it. In fact, my default would be to say this should have been between 1 is to 3 to 1 is to 4. So this number has to be between 3 and 4. That is the way I would look at doing this. Ratios, approximation is extremely important. Okay. Question 8. Identical chocolate pieces are sold in boxes of two sizes, small and large. Large box is sold for twice the price of the small box. If the selling price per gram of the box in the large box is 12% lesser than the small box, then the percentage by which the weight of chocolate in the large box exceeds. I need to think. Whenever I come across a question which forces me to think, I will say I have to do it later. I'll ignore this question. I will come back later if I have time and see if I can do it. Okay. But this is not the question in which I want to think and get to the answer. And please look at the choices also. Choices are close. This is percentage increase and what is asking 135%, 124%, 127, 144%. Approximation is also going to be a bit challenging out here. I am not interested in doing this question. I will say leave this question. Okay, leave. Okay. Question 9. Strength of an indigo solution in percentage is equal to the amount of indigo in grams per 100 cc of water. So percentage definition has been given. Strength definition has been given. Two 800 cc bottles are filled with indigo solutions of strength 33% and 17% respectively. A part of the solution from the first bottle is thrown away and replaced by an equal volume of the solutions from the second bottle. If the strength in the indigo solution of the first bottle is now 21% in volume, then the volume in cc of solution in the second bottle. There's an easy question. Unlike the previous question, I don't need to think. While there's no jugaad, I would say you have to use allegation. All those of you who know allegation, this is a question. And those of you who don't know allegation, once it is covered in your classes and you studied, come back to this question. 33%, 17%, and the average is 21%. Okay. So this is 4, this is 9, 12. So 1 is to 3. Okay. 1 is to 3. So the answer is going to be 1/4 or 200. I'm not solving it. I'm just leaving it for those of you who know allegation. Because if you know allegation, I don't need to explain it. And if you don't know allegation, study it, come back, you will be able to do it. This is not the jugaad question or solution, but allegation is an important part of this paper. Please make sure that you don't miss out on it. Allegation is something which comes every year, 1 or 2 questions are there. Okay. Question 10. A circle of diameter 8 inches is inscribed inside a triangle ABC where angle ABC is 90 degrees. If BC is 10 inches, then what is the area of triangle in square inches? Now, before I go on to this question, I just want to share a concept with you. Okay, Pythagorean triplets. Okay, Pythagorean triplets are something you need to remember. Okay, please mug up all those values. But if required, you should be able to create a Pythagorean triplet on the run also. For example, let us look at any number. Let me look at 5. It's an odd number. To create a Pythagorean triplet with 5, what do? I do 5 square equal to 25. Okay. And then that what will be the other two numbers? One will be 25 by 2 minus 0.5 and other will be 25 by 2 plus 0.5. So what is half of 25? 12.5. So one will be 12, the other will be 13. So 5, 12, 13 is a Pythagorean triplet. So when you have an odd number, square it, divide by 2 plus zero point 0.5 minus zero point 0.5. Similarly, if it's an even number, let's look at an even number 8. Again, do 8 square, 64. Now you don't divide by 2, you divide by 4. What will be the two numbers be? 64 by 4 minus 1 and 64 by 4 plus 1. 16 minus 1, 15. 16 plus 1, 17. So 8, 15, 17 is a Pythagorean triplet. Okay, I'm giving you the method which you can remember and which you should practice. But as you keep preparing, please create a separate notebook or separate sheet of paper where you keep noting down all the Pythagorean triplets you come across. Memorize them. It will be very, very helpful for you in the paper. Now let's look at this particular question. And to make a task easy, I have drawn the figure in advance. A circle of diameter 8 inches is inscribed inside a circle where angle ABC is 90 degrees. Okay, so this is 90 degrees and this is angle, this is the triangle. Okay, if BC is 10 inches, what is the area of the triangle in square inches? Now, BC is 10 inches is this. Okay, what is the diameter of the circle? 8 inches. So let's look at the circle. This will be the radius, isn't it? So this should be 4 and this should be 4. That means this is 4 and this is 4. If BC is 10, this should be 6. And if you remember your basic properties of circle, the tangents from an external point to the circle are the same. 6. This will also be 6. Similarly, if this is x, this is x. Okay. Now, mathematically, what would people do? They will say we have to apply Pythagorean theorem. So we will say 6 plus x whole square is equal to 4 plus x whole square plus 10 square and solve it. No problems. It is only a wastage of time which is happening. On the contrary, use the Jugaad method, which I just told you about the method of finding the Pythagorean triplet. One of the side is 10. What should be the other side? 10 square equal to 100. What will be the two sides then be? 100 by 4 plus 1 and 100 by 4 minus 1. So what are they going to be? 10, 24, 26. 10, 24, 26 is the Pythagorean triplet. Okay. Okay. 10, 24, 26. So what should x be? If this is going to be 26, that means x should be 20. And this, what do we need to find? Area of the triangle. Area of the triangle will be half into 24 into 10, which is equal to 120. Okay. Okay. So please remember this technique of finding the squares, or finding the creating the Pythagorean triplet. Very, very helpful. And don't waste your time solving equations. You can see that one of the sides is 10. Create the Pythagorean triplet, verify and mark the answer. Question 11. How many 3-digit numbers are greater than 100 and increase by 198 when 3 digits are arranged in the reverse order? It's an easy question, a standard question. The methodology is, you'll study if you come down to it. No Jugaad method, so I'm skipping it. But this is a question you should be solving in the paper definitely. Number of groups of 3 or more distinct numbers that can be chosen from 1 to 8, so that the group always includes 3 and 5, while 7, 8 is not. Again, I don't want to waste my time right now. I will have to think how to solve permutation combination. I know most students are not very comfortable, so we'll skip this question. We'll assume it's a difficult question and we are not going to attempt. But if you don't know permutation combination and you try doing this question, you will only end up wasting your time. Okay. 13th. Onion is sold for 5 consecutive months at these particular rates per kg. A family spends a fixed amount of money on onion for each of the first 3 months and then spends half that amount over the next 2 months. Average expense for onion in rupees per kg for the family over these 5 months is closest to what? Okay. Easy question. Most people will get it right. My only problem is that you will calculate using a variable, or you'll choose some stupid number. Now, what are the amount? In the first 3 months is the same amount, next 2 months is the smaller amount. Now, what are the rates per kg? It are given out here. What is the amount you should take? It should be some LCM or multiple of 10, 20, 25, and 50. LCM of these numbers. What is the LCM of these numbers? 50. Sorry, 100. LCM of these numbers is 100. So what should you assume? First month 100 rupees, second month 100 rupees is spent, third month 100 rupees is spent, fourth and fifth month half of that is spent, 50 rupees. Total expenditure is 400 rupees. What is the rate? 10 rupees per kg, that is 20, 25, 25 and 50. Okay. So how many kgs will you get? 10, 5, 4, 2, 1. 10, 5, 15, 4, 19, 21, 22. So what is the average? 400 by 22, which is 200 by 11. I know 100 by 1 by 11 is 9.09%. That means 100 by 11 will be 9.09 and 200 by 11 will be 18.18. Reciprocals are something that you need to mug up, memorize to save your calculation. Okay. Correct answer, choice 4. Okay. What is the jugaad out here? Choose a number which is a multiple of all these. Choose a number which is a multiple of all these, then your calculation become easier. Secondly, mug up your reciprocals, memorize your reciprocals so that you can calculate faster. Now, this is a standard question which of jugaad, and these are what I call the pattern kind of questions. You need to just identify the pattern. Once you can identify the pattern, you will get the answer on your own. So we have said x0 is 1, x1 is 2. Xn plus 2, some formula is given where n goes from 0 to and so on and so forth. We need to find x2021. Okay. Now let's look at finding the values. The standard approach for such questions is to find the values of all these. Okay. Find the values of all the terms and find a pattern. So x0 is already given to us as 1. X1 is 2. What will be x3? X3 will be 1 plus x2. I'm sorry. X3 will be equal to 1 plus x2 upon x1. Okay. So x3 will be 2 plus 1, 3 upon 1. So 2 plus 1, 3 upon 1 is going to be 2. So x3, oh, stupid of me. Yeah. X3 will be equal to 3. What will be x4? 3 plus 1, 4. 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. x5, 2 plus 1, 3. 3 by 3, 1. x6, 1 plus 1, 2. 2 divided by 2, 1. x7, 1 plus 1, 2 divided by 1, 2. x8, 2 plus 1, 3. 3 divided by 1, 3. Can you see a pattern? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What will be x9? 3 plus 1, 4 divided by 2 equal to 2. x10, 2 plus 1, 3 by 3, 1. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Can you find the can you see the pattern? I think I've written it incorrectly. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, x8 and x9. Okay, so the pattern is visible. We did not have to go till here. At this stage, it was clear. By when we hit x7, it was clear as to what the pattern is. Okay? So what should you do? We need x20, 21. So this is x0, 1, 2, 3, 4, x5. This will also be x10, x5, x10. All numbers ending with 5, 10, 5 and 0 will come here. So this is also going to be x2020. So what will be x2021? This will be x2021. So x2021 will be equal to 2. These are very, very important questions. Every year in CAT, you'll find 1 or 2 pattern questions. And if you can just work on the pattern, you will get the answer to the question also. Okay. Okay, I'm running a little behind schedule. It is 7:50. I can see. I think I have another 15 minutes at best. So I will just skip this question. In any case, when you read this question, you realize this is going to be a bit of calculation intensive question and may not be a good idea to attempt this question. So let me leave this question. Okay. Next question. Now, before we do this question, again, one small concept I want you to remember. In a right angle 30, 60, 90 triangle, sorry, this is 30, this 60. The ratio of sides is 1 is to root 3 is to 2. The side opposite 30 degree, if it is 1, the side opposite 30, 60 degree will be root 3 and the hypotenuse will be double. Or if we say this is x, this will be x root 3 and this will be 2x. Similarly, if you look at a 45, 45, 90 right triangle, 1 is to 1 is to root 2. Okay, this is 45, this is 45. Again, something to be remembered so that you can cut down your calculation effort significantly. Let's look at the question. Again, what is the jugaad? The 30, 60, 90, which cuts down my calculation effort significantly. Supposing the length of each side of a regular hexagon ABCDF is 2 centimeters. If T is the midpoint of CD, what is the length of AT? Okay, let me say this is T, and which obviously means this is CD. So this is B, A, E, F. Okay. Right. Now let's look at this particular right triangle. Okay. We need to find AT. A is here and T is here. We need to find this particular length. Can you say this is a right angle triangle? AT and let me say this is G. ATG is a right angle triangle. Okay. If I say this is O, OTD is also right angle triangle. What is this angle going to be? This is 120 degree. So what will this angle be? 60. This is 90 and this is 30. Now, what is the length of the side of hexagon? 2 centimeters. That means this will be 1 and this will be 1. So if this is 1, this side will be root 3 and this will also be root 3. So effectively, what is this ATG is? ATG is a right angle triangle where this is nothing but 2 root 3. Root 3 plus root 3. How much is this? 1. So what should this be? 1 square plus 2 root 3 square. Okay. So 4 into 3, 12 plus 1, 13 under root 13. Okay. This 30, 60, 90 rule, which I've shared here, very, very important. This is something which cuts down your calculation effort significantly. And while I'm drawing the figure, realistically, this is an oral question if you remember these ratios. Okay. Anu, Vinu, and Manu can complete the work alone in 15 days, 12 days, and 20 days, respectively. Vinu works every day. Anu works only on alternate days starting from the first day. And Manu works on alternate days starting from the second day. Number of days needed to complete the work. Now, there's a question which most people will be able to solve. They'll assume an amount of work to be LCM of 15, 12, and 10, 20. Typically, you'll say, let the amount of work be LCM of these three, find out the unit of work, and again solve it. Time consuming. What is my jugaad? I work in percentage terms. Okay. So let's look at this. Okay. Vinu works every day. How much? So this is Anu, this is Vinu, and this is Manu. Vinu does the work in 12 days. Can I say that means Vinu does 8.33% of the work per day? Okay. Okay. So it is 8.33% work per day. And then we have Anu. Anu does the work in 15 days. So how much per day basis? 1 by 15. What is 1 by 15? 6.66%. And the third person is Manu. Manu does the work in 20 days, which means 5% per day. Okay. Now, Vinu does daily. Anu does only on the first alternate day starting from the first day. So we'll work on first, third, fifth, and so on and so forth. Manu does on the even days. Okay. No issues at all. Now, what is the number of days required to complete the work if Vinu works every day and Anu and Manu alternate? Okay. Now look at the choices 5, 6, 7, 8. I have a 8.33, I have a 6.66, so I'll take a multiple of 3. So let me start with this choice called 6 days. So in 6 days, okay, in 6 days, okay, in 6 days, how much of work will be done? Okay, in 6 days. Let me write it here itself. Okay. Okay. In 6 days, Vino will work for all 6 days. 8.33 into 3 days, Vino will do 25%. So 6 days will do 50% of the work. Okay. In 6 days, Manu will work on second, fourth on 6 days. So 5% per day, 15% in 3 days. Similarly, Anu will do 1, 3, and 5, 3 days, 20%. 85% of the work will get finished in 6 days. We want to find the complete work. That means choice 4 and choice 2 are wrong. Now, what about the seventh day? If I come to the seventh day only, who will work on 7th day? Vinu will work because works every day. And the other person, 7 days, is going to be Anu, which is 6.66%. How much? 8, 6, 14 and 115%. So on 7th day, the complete work will be finished. So if you work on percentage, again, the important thing to understand is, while I've written it for you, this is an oral question. If you work in percentage terms, if you work on the amount of work, let the amount of work be LCM of 15, 12, 20, that becomes a time consuming process and it is no longer an oral question. Logs. Most of you have not studied logs and would find it difficult. So let's leave this question. Okay. Question 19 is exactly the same as this question, where I will work in terms of percentage. Okay. Amar, Akbar, Anthony are working on a project, working together. Amar and Akbar can complete the project in 12 months. 1 year, I'm saying 12 months. Okay. Akbar and Anthony will complete the work in 16 months. And Anthony plus Amar will complete the work in 2 years or 24 months. Okay. Again, work in terms of percentages. Amar plus Akbar will do 8.33% of the work per day. Akbar and Anthony will do 6.25% of work per month, not per day, per month. And Amar and Akbar will do 4.16% of the work per day, or 4.17% of the work per day. Reciprocals are important. 1 by 24 is 4.17%. Okay. If the person who's neither the fastest nor the slowest works alone, time taken to complete the project by him. Now, if I add the three, I will have 2 Amars, 2 Akbars, and 2 Anthonys. That means in 2 days, they will, how much work will they do? In 2 days, Amar plus Akbar plus Anthony, in 2 days, they will do 8 and 4, 12, 12.5, 18.75%. In 2 days, they'll do 18.75% of the work, or in 1 day, they will do upon 2, which is 9.375%. After all, half of 75 is 37.5. Okay. Now, the time in which who will complete the work? The person who is neither the fastest nor the slowest. Look at this middle number. Akbar plus Anthony can do 6.25% of the work. Amar plus Akbar plus Anthony will do 9.35% of the work. So who's missing out here? Amar. How much work Amar will do? This minus this. So this is 9 minus 6 is 3, 3.125%. So Amar is the middle person. He will do 3.125% of the work per day. What is 1 by 16? 6.25%. So what should be 1 by 32? 1 by 16 is 6.25%. So 1 by 32 should be 3.125% of the work. So in how many days will Amar complete the work? 32 months. Okay. Same to, I have a preference of working in this domain of percentages because it helps me save time. Okay. Question 20 again. Number of integers. Though I'm not comfortable with such questions, I invariably leave because I take a lot of time to solve them. And my problem again is the choices. Even if I miss out on one case, I will get a wrong answer. Okay. Question 20. Anil invests some money at the fixed rate of interest compounded annually. If the interest accrued during the second year and the third year are this much, the interest accrued during the fourth year. So in the second year, third year, and fourth year, interest accrued in the second year is 806.25 rupees. In the third year is 866.72 rupees. In the fourth year, we need to find, let me say it is X. Okay. Obviously, the increase here will be more than this. After all, what is it? It is compound interest. So whatever is this percentage increase, it should be the same out here. Or the other way to look at this is, interest in the third year upon interest in second year should be the ratio should be the same as interest in fourth year upon interest in third year. What does that mean? Interest in the fourth year will be equal to interest in third year square upon interest in second year. Look at the choices, very close. And what is your calculation going to be? 806.25 square. I'm sorry, not 866. It is going to be 866.72 square upon 806.25. So what is the jugaad? Use a calculator. CAT has given you a calculator. Why should you not use it if required? So many people tell you should never use a calculator. I think that's being stupid. Yes, don't use it unnecessarily, but for a question which has choices as close as this, if you don't use a calculator, you'll end up wasting a lot of time. And not only that, you'll most probably get a wrong answer. Okay. Last question. Okay. The natural numbers are divided into groups as given and so on. What is the sum of the numbers in the 15th group? Pattern. A little while ago, we had done that question of pattern. This is again a pattern question. Let us look at the groups. First group is 1. Second group, 2, 3, and 4. Third group, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Fourth group, okay, not given, but let's write it down. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Can you see something out here? The last number is a perfect square. First group, last number is 1 square. Second group, last number is 2 square. Third group, last number is 3 square. Fourth group, last number is 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, and 4 square. So in the 15th group, if I look at the 15th group, last number will be 15 square, which is 225. And what will be the last number of the 14th group? 14 square, 196. So what will be the first number of the 15th group? 197. So what are these? These are 197, 198, and so on and so forth. This is not an arithmetic progression. This is an arithmetic progression. We have identified the pattern. All we need to do is add these numbers. What is the sum of our arithmetic progression? N by 2 into A plus L, where N is the number of terms. How many terms out here? This will be 29 terms. So 29 by 2 into A, first term is 197, last term is 225. What does this become? 29 by 2 into 225 plus 200, 425 minus 3, 422, which is 29 into 211. What should you do? No, don't use a calculator. Don't multiply. Look at the choices. What will be the unit digit of your answer? 9. Only one choice has 9. That should be the answer. So pattern and options, we did not do the calculation because we saw that only one choice has 9. Okay. Now this is the way you look at this paper. Okay. Now let me just do a small summary. Let me note down. Let me just share which are the questions we have done. The Jugaad method we have applied in question 1, 2, 5, 6. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 10, 13. 14, 16, 17, 19, 21, 22. How many questions we have done? And I think I have taken just about 40, 45 minutes. And I was, remember, also explaining to you how the questions have to be done. Which means if I was not explaining, we could have done larger number of questions. And how many questions are these? These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 questions. Now, there were another few questions which were easy. Remember that allegation question I have not counted here. Which were those questions? They were question number 3, question number 4, the time speed distance question, trains wala, 9, 11. Okay, 4 questions. And the question which I said we will ignore or we will leave, not worth attempting immediately, they were 8, 12, 15, 15, 18, 20. Now, these 5 questions, if you have solved in the paper, it would have taken away significant amount of time and you would not have been able to solve this. Let me say, even if you do only these Jugaad questions and do these 13 questions, 13 threes are 39. You are 99 percentile. 90. You are more than 99 percentile in CAT 21. Okay, and if you can do at least a couple from here also, you will be 99.89 percentile. Okay, and so what I want you to take from this session is the methodology, that you have to look at the choices. So what I want you to remember is that options are integral part when you're looking at questions. Please also look at these choices along with it. Second, leave difficult questions, they are worthless. If you pick up any of these questions and you spend 4, 5, 6 minutes, that is amount of time taken to solve at least two other questions, if not more, and hence it is not worth it. Remember, you don't get extra marks for difficult question. Easy question, difficult question, everything you will get only 3 marks if you get it right. Okay. And yes, use common sense. Pattern identification, for example. What we did for the inequality, question number 2, very, very important. Okay. Pattern identification. Use approximation. What did we do approximation? We did this here, not this one, sorry. Not this one. One of these questions, yeah. One of these questions we had approximated. Okay. And even this last question, we just said the last unit date has to be 9. So this is all approximation and elimination of choices. Calculate only. Now this obviously means you should memorize your reciprocals. Reciprocals are very, very important. 1 by 1 to 1 by 30, if you memorize, you will be able to do lots of time and work time, speed, distance questions orally. Okay. And yes, please don't hesitate to use a calculator if it is a difficult question. It should not be the default option, but it is something you should be willing to use. Okay. And yes, this is the only thing I want you to remember. This is not the paper where you have to be working very hard inside the paper. No. Learn to leave difficult questions be the hardly working type, and you will do well in this paper. Okay. So that's it from my side. Ravi, are there any questions?
There are just a couple of questions that have come your way, sir. Uh, Let me showcase that in the screen. Himank is asking, how can I develop this sharp judgment of choosing questions based on level of difficulty?
Okay. Okay. So when you say how can you develop this judgment, one of the things you need to do is as you keep taking papers, you will realize, okay, you do an exercise. After the exercise, go through the question again. You realize some question you're able to understand fast and do them. There are some questions you take time to understand. Those are the questions which are going to be a problem for you. And those are the questions which you need to revise regularly. So my suggestion for all students always is, whenever you do any exercise or mock, after the session or after we have done the exercise or the mock, go through all the questions, identify those medium questions. Because in the paper, what was easy, difficult, medium is one part. After the paper, solve all the questions again, identify which are easy for you, medium for you, difficult for you. The medium ones keep revising them. The difficult one is a concept issue. Okay. So as you keep practicing this method, you will be able to develop this judgment for choosing the question based on the level of difficulty. One last thing which I want to tell Hemang, what is easy for me might be difficult for you, and what is easy for you might be difficult for me. So don't go by what works for me or what works for you or what works for anyone else. Go by what works for you. For example, I normally leave questions which says how many solutions. That is not my strength area. But Ravi or Arks or Jijo or Shivku, they'll probably attend those questions. Okay? So it's a personal choice which has to be exercised. Yeah.
And there is one unofficial god, probably a demigod who is attending our session, says, whenever I attempt a mock, I feel like ये question मुझे आता है and I can solve it, but when I attempt, I get stuck. What to do
Yeah.
when I get stuck?
Yeah. Yeah. When I was young, I thought every girl would be mad after me. जिस लड़की को देखूंगा वो मेरे पीछे आ जाएगी. गलती थी ना मेरी. ठीक है. शीशा देख लेना चाहिए मेरे को. I forgot that शीशा देखना चाहिए. नहीं होता ये. Okay. So when so the unofficial god, my request to you is, in the paper you need to be critical of yourself. When in doubt, leave. If the question is, if it is question easy or medium, it is medium. If you asking yourself, is it medium or difficult, it is difficult. So in the examination under pressure, something which is easy will also look a little difficult. And which is why I emphasize a lot on revision. If you keep revising regularly, you will be easily able to identify what is doable or not doable. Secondly, you need to get rid of your ego, because many of you would be good in studies in school and college. But remember, school and college give you sufficient time to answer a question. This paper does not give you. So here you have to leave questions. You have to tell yourself, out of 22 questions of QA, my first target is not 12, 13, 14. My first target is do 8 questions. Can you do 8 questions in 40 minutes correctly? That's your first target. The next target will be 10 questions in 40 minutes. Next target will be 12 questions in 40 minutes. Next target will be 13 questions. Next will be now one question at a time. Okay. So don't be in a hurry. Read the question carefully. And when you read the question carefully, giving it sufficient time, you will be able to make the right judgment regarding the level of difficulty of the question.
So that's more or less the kind of questions that are coming up. Meanwhile, before I bring Jijo to the live stream, before he starts with the VARC,
Yeah.
please leave in the comment box what did you feel about the session. Are there any takeaways? What is your feedback of the session?
Uh, just one last thing, Ravi. Just I think it needs to be emphasized. Most of you are at the initial stages of your preparation. Okay. Don't worry if you can't solve a few of the questions which I had taken up, or if the question which I left you can't solve. And when you do that topic, go back to these questions. Secondly, the purpose of this session is to tell you this is the way you need to look at a question, this is the way you need to look at a paper, and this is the way you need to prepare for your exam. So when you're preparing, when you're doing practice exercises also at home, along with the question, read the choices. Get into the habit of doing calculation only, because what you do in practice is what you will do in the examination. If while practicing you use a calculator, in the exam also you'll use a calculator. So learn to let's say uh, do your calculation orally. Extremely important. Reciprocals I've always emphasized. So that is what you need to look at. Look upon this as a methodology which you need to work with, so that in 3 months time you are thoroughly prepared. Okay, that's it from my side, Ravi. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, GP sir. So I welcome to the stream Jijo with Smart VARC Cracker. And people, guys who have been attending this for the last 1 hour, if you felt that GP sir has blown your minds out of place, then believe me, you haven't even scratched the surface, because that is the potential this man on the screen has when it comes to VARC. And Jijo, the screen, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the time is 8:10, and we are going to do reading comprehension. This is going to be fun. I hope that you had your uh, dinner. Okay. So let me just share my screen and let's get started. So there might be a lot of questions that you might have. So when I'm sharing my screen, I can't see myself. So Ravi, you'll have to tell me if stuff is visible, right? So if that's the case, then things should be fine. Okay, I hope I'm visible. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, Jijo, you
Okay,
can go.
race to 99 percentile head start. So I'll kick start. So this is the sort of slide that you have seen already. The only thing that I would want to add to what Ravi and GP are already said with regard to this particular slide is that eventually you will have to figure out some sort of a game plan with this, which means assuming, let's say that you want to target something like a 36 questions net correct, want to hit the 99.5 percentile plus because you want to go to IIM Calcutta. Then for some reason, let's say that you are kind of stuck at 95th percentile here, which is 8 questions. And let's say for the time being, let's say that you want to hit 32 and to get 99 percentile. Let's say for some reason you're stuck at 8 here. Let's say that you're again stuck here at 8 questions. That will add up to 16 questions. So if you have to hit 32, that means I will need 16 here, which means at various combinations of a particular percentile, I can still get those numbers. So eventually, as you go along with your preparation, I'm sure that at some point in time, you'll figure out what role would a VARC have in your scheme of things. For some of you, inherently VARC is good because you have got good reading habit. Some of you would have to fight that, but irrespective of wherever you are, the VRC section of CAT is based on comprehension. It's not based on knowledge, and comprehension are based on abilities, and abilities can be developed. The development of abilities about skills. Skills can be developed. So at the end of the day, if you look at any of the three sections, while QA will require a little bit of knowledge in the sense that you need to understand concepts, DLR need to understand the process. When you look at VRC, though the improvement is gonna be a little, it'll take a time. It probably take about 60 days, 90 days when you can start seeing changes in terms of his score. Wherever you are, let's say that if you're at 8 and if you want to move from 8 to, let's say, a score of 15, it will probably take about 60 days to 90 days. But I think the thing that you need to do is very limited, right? So you don't have to do 100 different things. You can focus on a few things, right? So if I look at the percentile score versus percentile in CAT 2021 and 2020, by and large, it has remained the same in the last couple of years. So there were 24 questions, I believe, in each of them. The number of questions were 24, so the percentile was by and large the same. If you want to hit the 95th percentile, it's about 11 questions. And if you want to hit the 99th percentile, it's about what, about 14 to 15 questions. Net correct? If you want to hit the 90th percentile, that's about 9 questions. Right? So um when you look at the VARC section, it was in pandemic time in 2020 and 2021, each section became 40 minutes. From 2015 till 2019, each section was 1 hour. The paper was 3 hours. But irrespective of whatever that is, you can see that the questions that is asked in the verbal ability, paragraph summary, paragraph jumble, odd sentence is exactly the same. And the reading comprehension in terms of the type of passages or the question type is the same. So in one sense, from CAT 2015 onwards, obviously prior to 2015, there have been very variations. From 2015 onwards till 2021, in all these years, the CAT has stuck to this particular pattern. So I would basically assume that in 2022 as well, this is what we'll get. Now, one question, of course, that many people would have is that, so obviously you cannot see vocabulary based questions, though vocabulary helps in terms of reading. You don't see any grammar based questions. This is completely comprehension. In fact, I have to look at CAT is about comprehension. When you look at DILR, that ARCS is going to take next, DILR is also about comprehension. It's about reading certain things, understanding, and obviously doing a bit of calculations and other stuff. So many would want to believe that if I were to ask a question, obviously I cannot see the comment, whether you like a 40 minutes paper or a 60 minutes paper. I've asked this question every time I meet students. Everybody tells me that they would want to look at 40 minutes paper because it's going to get over fast. But if I look at this perspective, let's take for example reading comprehension. The total time that you take to solve reading comprehension is the time that you take to read the passage, and then the time that you take to solve the individual questions. Everybody kind of focus only on the passage and what you read. I think the most of the time that you spend is also on the questions, evaluating the options. So the passages that you get is about 500 words. That has been the case in the 60 minutes paper and also in the 40 minutes paper. And 500 words at a normal speed. I think that if you read magazines or newspapers or any book, I think that you'll be able to read in about 200, 250 words per minute. But let's say that this is a little more dense. You have to go in depth. So even if, let's say, I take about 150 words per minute, I can probably knock this reading in about 4 minutes on the higher side. And let's say there are 5 questions, I can do it in about 5 minutes, let's say, on an average. The total I can manage the RC in about 9 minutes. So there are 5 RCs back in 60 minutes case. So that's 45 minutes for this 24 RC questions. Since there are 60 minutes, that leaves us 15 minutes for this 10 question, which is about 1.5 minutes per question, which is easy. Probably paragraph jumble might take slightly more time. Paragraph summary can be done in about a minute time, but I got 1.5 minutes. Plus these paragraph jumble questions and odd sentence questions are all non-MCQ questions. There is no negative marking there. So I'm sure that you will also take some bit of risk and solve these questions. But when you come here, in the 40-minute paper, so the number of questions were 4. If I apply the sort of the same logic, you take about 4 minutes here, and let's say you take about 4 minutes there, and it take about 8 minutes for each of these passages, sometimes even 9 minutes. The 4 passages is 8 4 are 32 minutes. I will end up spending 32 minutes with the 16 questions, which means I'm only left with 8 minutes. So it in terms of the time that you have in 40 minutes, or the number of questions that you have in front of you, the time that it's a little more challenging in the sense of 40 minutes paper than 60 minutes paper. Or let's say that if you can look at it this way, if someone, let's say, takes about 9 minutes, so let's look at this. We need about 1.5 minutes for each of these verbal ability question, which means this will take about 12 minutes. That means that we have 28 minutes, which means I have to knock this passage in about 7 minutes each, right? So this brings us to look at, so this 40, I don't know this year's CAT whether it's going to be a 3-hour paper or a 2-hour paper. Let's assume it's a 2-hour paper because that is like slightly more challenging than a 3-hour paper, because 3-hour paper you have time. You can actually look at all the passages. You can literally complete the time, right? So we come back and look at this scenario. And I have got 16 questions from reading comprehension, 8 questions in VA. You might be looking at reading comprehension and say that some of you will say that I will look at 3 passages. Some of you say that I'll look at 4 passages, whatever it is. Let's say as a starting point, if out of these 8 questions, let me say hypothetically, paragraph summary, paragraph jumble, odd sentence, out of these 8 questions, let's say that I could get 6 questions correct, hypothetically, then I'm already at 75th percentile, or maybe even 80th percentile, depending upon the scaling up process, without even solving any single reading comprehension passage. Let's say if I can actually solve the 6 questions net correct. Mind you, there are no negative marking for these 5 questions, paragraph, jumble, and odd sentence. So so you'll probably get all the marks unless you make some mistake with respect to the paragraph summary questions. And if I can get, let's say, about 6 questions or 7 questions out of this correct, I'm already hitting the 97th percentile. So one of the things that I want to help you understand at this point in time is that everybody looks at RC and RC and RC and worry about reading comprehension. This verbal ability, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be absolutely crucial. And if you become really good at verbal ability, and you can save time in verbal ability and not actually give 12 minutes, 10 minutes, if you can do verbal ability, you get a little more time for RC that actually look at all the 4 RCs. Now, in reading comprehension, there might be some of you will say that I will look at 3 passages. There'll be some of you, I'll say I'll look at 4 passages, which means I have 7 minutes per passage. I would want you to be that person who is able to look at all the 4 passages. But I might not solve all the questions. Let me repeat. It is not necessary that I should solve all the questions in this reading comprehension. I can read the passages. I don't know how many of you have taken the 2 mocks that are already given. Every time you look at the test, you know that you have got a passage, but you have got followed by 4 questions. It is not that each of these 4 questions are easy. All of them are easy, or all of them are difficult. You might have a couple of questions which is easy. You might have one question, let's say, is medium, and one question which is difficult. Now, if I, like what GP was saying in his session, that I will choose to leave. So instead of actually leaving passage, if I leave questions, the moment it is confusing to me, I leave, I save a lot of time. If I can leave this and take out, let's say, these 2 questions each, or let's say on an average, if I can take out 2 net questions each, I can take out about 8 from here. And let's say even if, let's say, I get to the score about 5 from here or 4 from here, I'm hitting this high percentile. Now, if you saw 3 passages, you are going to be, there will be one or 2 questions in each passage, one question which is going to be slightly tricky, and you'll end up spending more time in that question. Imagine this. Let's say you've got passage 1, passage 2, passage 3. In 2 questions, you spend an extra 2 minutes. At each 2 minutes each, you spend about 4 minutes. Here, one question, you spend about 2 minutes each. Here also, like that, you got stuck in one option, you went back and read the passage once again, 2 minutes. If you save this time, 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8. If I would have left that single question, the moment the question confuses me, I can go do one more passage. The ladies and gentlemen, the key is to understand that is not a passage that is giving you marks, or is not the passage that is troubling you. It is actually the questions that you see that is troubling you. Now, so let me start with reading comprehension first, right? So I'm just going to give you the basics. Obviously, this is a sort of a short sort of session, not a much more detailed one. Obviously, we'll do some of these sessions. Obviously, you're getting this session in the classes, or maybe we'll have in the YouTube itself a little more engagement with a little more detailed stuff. But let me just look at this reading comprehension. Has got this component. We have got a passage that is given to us, and there is question that is created. The passage, of course, had multiple paragraph. Now we are dealing with 2 person. There is an author who wrote this particular passage, and there is a question setter who created the question. Now, please understand that this author is actually your friend, When the author wrote this passage, author did not want to confuse his reader. No author says, why am I writing this passage? I am going to create this article so that I want to confuse the public. I want to ensure that none of my readers will give me thumbs up, like. Everybody wants like. So the guy who wrote the passage, or the person who wrote this passage, did not want to confuse the reader. Why are we getting confused? Because I am not his reader. The guy is written a passage on epistemology. Now there are a lot of people that he wrote who understand epistemology. I don't. I am not. I am getting confused, not of the fault of the author. I am getting confused of the fault of mine because I don't understand this. If I read, let's say, about cricket, an article about game on cricket, I understand it really well. But let's say there is an article on baseball game. I don't know what is a baseball game. I'm going to get confused, not because of the author, because of me, because I don't understand what I read. So please always believe that the author is your friend. In your preparation, you have to make every single author your friend. That's how we improve. But how will we treat the author? We treat the author like our enemy. We want to skim read, scan read. We don't want to we read faster than the time, but we don't want to understand him. And this guy here, ladies and gentlemen, this person here is the devil. The question setter's job is to confuse us. He creates question and then creates answer choices, sets trap. If the right answer choice is D, every other answer choice has a trap. And he wants to create a trap in such a manner to confuse us. And there are a lot of people who want to read the question first. Why you want to read the question first? Every single thing that I need to answer, deal with this idiot here, not an idiot. Tomorrow, obviously, he's going to be your teacher because I'm guessing some of these faculty members create the question. So, anyways, so the point is, ladies and gentlemen, is that I need to understand the passage. I need to comprehend the passage. The more I understand subjects, the more better I become. So it's going to take some time. But if I've exposed myself reading multiple articles, let's say Ion essays, Aeon essays, or JST or daily, if I take mock tests regularly, I'm exposing myself. And if I understand multiple ability to comprehend passage, I'll be able to do it. But however, I may end up in situations where I cannot understand the passage. But whatever is a little bit of understanding of passage can help me answer the question. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to pick up one passage from CAT 2021, and I decided to pick up the toughest passage. Yeah, it's a slightly painful and tough passage. This passage is so if you look at there are certain factors that makes the passage difficult, right? One is obviously the more you have to read, the longer the time that it takes. So it's about 490 words. The second is this how dense the passage is in terms of the sentence structure. So there is this grade that there are a lot of different cases. I kind of use this grade. It has this formula that says total number of words divided by total number of sentences. More words in a sentence, more dense the passage. Total number of syllables in words, which means the longer words, more difficult to read. And it comes out with the grade of going off from 1 all the way till 18 and 20. It's like which standard student can read this. So this factor is 13.3, which means somebody who has studied for 13 years should be able to read this, which is you guys. So anything above 18, 16, 17, 18, and 20 gets into journal sort of mode, right? But the second thing, so this is fine. This is manageable, slightly painful, but manageable. The problem, of course, would be with the area itself, archaeology. And this also talks about stuff that maybe you will not understand. So the topic may make it difficult. So here, I don't think that the word is an issue. Every single, we have to be comfortable with 400 words. CAT is going to give you 400 words. You have to be comfortable with 400 words. No questions asked. We need 400 words. So for 500 words, sorry, 500 words. CAT is 500 words. I should be able to read 500 words. This is taken from Ion essays. This article was 3,500 words. I think that person took out 500 words from there. This we can manage. This dense factor is fine. There's a topic would probably make life difficult. Okay. So this is the passage here. I'm going to read the first paragraph, right? And then talk to you after that. So let me just read the first paragraph. And don't go, what's going on? Just hold on. Listen to me carefully. I'm going to read it slowly. You're there with me. You and me. Okay. Stop everything. Just listen, focus. Let me read the first paragraph. It says, for the Maya of the classic period, who lived in the southern Mexico and Central America between 250 and 900 CE, the category of persons was not coincident with human beings as it is for us. That is, human beings were persons, but other non human entities could be persons too. In order to explore the slippage of categories between humans and persons, I examined a very specific category of ancient Maya images found painted in scenes of ceramic vessels. I sought out instances in which faces, some combination of eyes, nose, and mouth, are shown on inanimate objects. Consider my iPhone, which needs to be fed with electricity every night, swaddled in a protective bumper, and enjoys communicating with other fellow phone beings. Does it have a personhood, if at all? Because it is connected to me, drawing this resource from me as a owner of the source. For the Maya, who did have plenty of other communicating objects, if not smartphones, the answer was no. Non human persons were not tethered to specific humans as they did not derive their personhood from a connection with human. It's a profoundly democratizing way of understanding the world. Humans are no more important persons. We are just one of many kinds of persons who inhabit this world. Okay. Some of you would be looking at me and going, what just happened? What is going on? I'm sure that some of you were looking at me and going like that. But okay, this is where the problem happens, right? So we start reading. Imagine if you're going to read this passage fast, it's lost. But understand the structure, right? So when you read this, let's understand the structure. I'm just going to go a little slow in terms of understanding the structure. You read for the first time, the structure is already in your head. Let's say what is happening. This passage is talking about, first of all, these people, Maya of the classic period. And this part is basically explaining who they are, not important. And it focusing was category of persons was not coincident with human beings. Persons, personhood is not us. Other non-human entities could be persons too. So basically, start by saying Maya has got persons, has got humans as well as non-humans. And this is true. Legal person. I think, for example, if you have a temple, inside a temple, if you have sort of a murti in the temple, that is a legal person. Look at abortion issue, right? The fetus. If you consider fetus as a legal person, if you think that way, it's a person. It's got personhood. It has got rights. Then abortion will be illegal. But if you consider that to be not a person or a personhood, then abortion is fine. So that's basically what understanding is. So here, first, then the next part. Next part is from here to here. What is saying? The author is saying that what? So he is basically, the author is here saying, look, I have done a lot of work. I have gone to examine a lot of different things. I found something. I saw something. Basically, the author is saying that, look, you listen to me. I've done my work. I'm not giving you some crap. Basically, for Maya person and not person. And then author is giving an example. What is objective example? To say that just because that thing, which is the non-human, is connected to me, let's say my iPhone, that does not mean they are person. You're saying that it's a non-human, these non-human persons. So let's look at this one. The non-human persons did not derive the personhood from a connection with a human. So it's a non-human person. Non-human person. Their personhood is not because they are connected to the human. That's it. So all that we take from paragraph number 1 is, look, for Maya, humans, non-humans, persons. And these non-human persons, they need not be connected to humans. They can be independently persons. Now, at this point in time, if you have understood this, you can already predict what is going to come in the next paragraph. Now, author has to understand. Therefore, what? How do you define? How do you define? Who is this? What is the funda? Like, who is a person for the Maya people? First sentence of the next paragraph. The Maya saw personhood as activated by experiencing certain bodily needs. and through participation of certain social activities. So that non-human, that non-human to be a person needs to have two things: that non-human should experience bodily need. Now, at this point in time, you're wondering what the hell that means. Imagine, for example, and plus second one, they have to have some participation in social activities. And then you look at the things that is mentioned here. For example, author is now giving us an example to explain this. The point is already made. Author has made this point in the first sentence. I've got the point in my head. For them to be non-humans, two things are needed. Non-humans to be a person, two things. Number one, they should experience some bodily need. Number two, they should have some participation in social activities. They should mean something. So, for example, if I take let's say, a glass, for me to call that glass a person, the glass should experience hunger or thirst. My glass is not filled. I have a need. So, this, of course, what the Maya considers that person, and then this glass has a social activity, because once the water is there, it can be given to, let's say, a lot of different people, something like that. So it goes, for example, among the faced object that I examined, persons are marked by personal requirements such as hunger, tiredness, physical closeness, not usefulness to human beings. One, whatever is the object, that painting that they have done in the object, that says that that particular non-human thing has some personal requirements: hunger, tiredness, physical closeness, and by community obligation, personal requirements and community obligation, communication, interaction, ritual observance. In the imagines I examine, we see, for instance, another example. For instance, faced object being cradled in human arms. We also see them speaking to humans. These core elements of personhood are both turned inward, what the body or the self and the person requires, and outward, what the community expects the person who are part of it, underlying the reciprocal relationship of community membership. Inward, that person experience a bodily need, and outward community thing. I think that at this point in time you might be wondering and going, what the hell is going on? But you don't have to bother. Let's look at simple things. Something is called a personhood. There are two necessary requirements, and if you actually look at all these here, this particular part is author giving example explaining that. So all we know is what is the story so far. For Maya, non-humans can be persons. And all democracy, anyone can be person. Nobody is important. Anyone can be person. Okay, and they don't derive the person because they're connected to humans. No, what they need, two things: they have to experience bodily need. Second, they have to have some social activity, connection to some social community stuff. Okay, then we go to the next paragraph. Author has not ended. Personhood was a non-binary proposition for the Maya. So already made one more claim. Non-binary. What is binary? Two things only. Either you are dead or you are alive. You can't be both. Binary. Here, what it says, personhood was non-binary. Personhood is non-binary, which means that I can be both a human being and also a tree. I can be both a, person and sort of a non-person. By non-binary, it's not like, for example, entities were able to be person while also be something else. That's what it's saying. Non-binary, they can be person plus something else also. The faced object I looked at indicate that they continue to be functional, doing what the object do. A stone implement continue to chop, an incense burner continue to smoke, because I've got a stone, I made the stone, but picture dal ke usko bana diya person, but it's still a stone also. I'm still using it for the function, but I also consider this to be a person. Wow, what a concept. Next time, for example, when you look at the mock test, that mock test, ladies and gentlemen, is a person teaching you, helping you. Mock test needs you. You are neglecting the mock test. He needs you. Though your mock test has got a certain bodily need, but you're not taking it, ignoring it. You have to take the test. He's a person. He's got plus second parts. He has got certain social activity. It helps you. It interacts with you. It communicates with you. But that mock test, who is a person, is also has a function. allows you to take the test and stuff like that. It continued to be functional, something like that. Furthermore, the Maya visually depicted many objects in ways that indicated the material category to which they belong. Drawings of stone implements show that person tool is still made of stone. Same thing, same concept. One additional complexity: the incense burner, which would have been made of clay and decorated with spiky appliques representing the sacred symmetry found in the Trident, is also categorized as a tree. Now we have got some incense burner. I've called it a person. There's a tree inside. I've called it a tree. And then I'm also incense burner. Complicated. Non-binary. A person can be anything. This porousness of boundaries that we have seen in Maya world points toward the possibility of living with the uncategorizability of the world. Everything is person. Nobody's important to us. So you have to read this once and you have to get in your head. I'm obviously explaining this to you. But the reason why you don't understand this is because you're not engaging with the content. You're not engaging with the author. You're reading this passage thinking as though the passage is like one burden. How many times has it happened? You've read paragraph number 1, you've gone to paragraph number 2, you're almost going, oh, where am I? How did I reach here? I don't understand a thing that I read. You read first paragraph, you read second paragraph, nothing understood. You're thinking, I mean, what should I do? Should I go back and read? Should I do that? Or should I continue? And then you assume that I will read it once and magically answers will come out. I need to understand. That's it. And look at the structure, simple structure. Author makes a claim. Author clarifies that particular claim and gives categories and explains it further. That's it. Maya. All that in my head is Maya. Persons, humans, non-humans. Non-humans are persons not because of functionality. They need two things. They have to experience bodily need. They have to have some social activities, participation in community. Okay. Now, next person is personhood is non-binary. That person can be person, also a stone, and a tree also, and a river also. That's it. Passage is over. And let's look at the individually some questions. Okay. Which of the following, if true, would not undermine, oh my goodness, undermine, attack, not undermine, not attack. So basically, we're looking at something that supports the democratizing potential of classic Maya worldview. Already we understood democracy, everybody, nobody is superior. Anybody can be person. Humans are not important. So you're looking at something that would not undermine, would not attack, which means we're looking at something that supports. Let's look at answer choice number 1. They believe that animals like cats and dogs that live in proximity to humans have more clearly articulated personhood. Somebody is important. Cat is important because they're sitting close to human beings. No, democracy. Nobody is important. Gone. They understood that the stone implement and the incense burner is purely human form. No, it can be so. Why is human being so important? No. They depicted human healers with physical attribute of local medicinal plant. This is fine. Humans can be treated as plant also. Human healers attributed local medicinal plant. Look at 4. While they believed in personhood, objects and plant, they did not believe in the person. No, what democracy? Democracy. They did not derive the personhood from connection with human. Humans are no more important. This is deriving humanhood, connection with human. Gone. Okay, they are deriving humanhood, connection with the human. Gone. Deriving humanhood because they do not believe in person, rivers, and animals. So that's like, where is the democracy? Gone. Over. I mean, this is automatic. A human being is considered as a plant. Wow. That connection of that person is coming from a plant. Wonderful. Answer choice 3. Question number 14, ladies and gentlemen. Which of the following best explain the additional complexity that example the instance been illustrated regarding personal Maya? Okay, what would have happened is that we may not have read it well, so we would have done something about additional complexity here. Okay, but don't no worry. We'll just read the options. We are hoping that one option says pick me. There are only 2 things matter. Either I'm picking options or I'm ditching options. One of the things has to happen. Either I'm picking or I'm ditching. Ditching will eliminate. If you can't pick, can't ditch, that's when confusion happens. If such a problem happens, then this question is going to be dangerous. We should just leave this question, move to the next one. If there are two options, where you cannot either pick that answer choice or ditch it. You cannot say for sure this is wrong, or you cannot say for sure this is right. If the such a thing is, immediately just leave the question, move to the next one. Okay. What is this additional complexity? The example provides an exception to non-binary understanding, which means this is not non-binary. What do you mean? Everything is non-binary. This is saying that one thing, incense burner, is a person, is also that function, and also a tree. No, how is it exception non-binary? Out, ditch X. The example adds a new layer to non-binary understanding, which is great. Additional, so new layer, fine. By bringing in a third category, which is this one, third category, as this is third category that shares a similar relation with the previous two. Okay, furthermore, one category and one more category here, functional, and second one, this looks okay. The example adds a new layer of non-binary understanding of personhood, but the third category that is dissimilar relation with the previous two. What dissimilar? Similar relation. You can attach value of one thing to something. You have got a made of sacred tree. It's a present sacred tree. It does, because this is not dissimilar. It's similar. Non-binary proposition. All non-binary. All similar. All these examples are similar. Just that there's an additional complexity. Ditch it. The example complicates the non-binary understanding. Complicates is a bad word. That sounds like this fellow is very unhappy. What is this? What Maya? What nonsense are you doing? Complicating us. Complexity does not mean complicating it. Just complex. Person will establish a porosity. Look at the word. Chuck it. So this might be a question where you might end up looking at these two answer choice and then say that maybe I'll leave this question. It's fine. It's okay. But this is the answer. Answer to question number 14 is 2. Let's look at question number 15. On the base of passage, which one of the following world views can be inferred closest to that of Maya? Basically, we know one thing. Two things are needed. Bodily need. Second is the other fellow. Community participation for something to be a person. That's all we know. Function, not important. A tribe that perceives as utensils, as person utensils, in the light of their functionality. No, and bodily needs. No. We need to have bodily needs and certain social activity, which is like a personal requirement and community obligation, not functionality. Functionality has already been attacked here. A tribe that perceives its hunting weapons as sacred artifact because of the significance, its survival. Only one part, but no bodily need. A futuristic society that perceives robots to be person as well as human because of the similarity to the humans. Ditch it. There is no connection to human beings, ladies and gentlemen, which means answer choice has to be 4. Look at this. A tribe perceives the plant as a person because they form an ecosystem. Must second, and marked by needs of nutrition. Two things needed: bodily need, nutrition. Community requirement, ecosystem. Even if, let's say, I got confused reading this answer choice, when you read answer choice number 4, 4 should say pick me if you understood the passage. Question number 16. Which of the following, if true, about classic Maya would invalidate would leave attack? Now we have to attack the author. The purpose of iPhone example. We have to attack the purpose of iPhone example. The purpose of iPhone example is to say that non-persons were not tethered to specific humans. They did not derive their personhood function connection with human. That is a purpose. Now you have to attack it. And you can see, read 1, read 2, read 3. We go to answer choice number 4. Pick it. We have to attack that. So this, look at this. The personhood of incense burner and the stone chopper was a function of the usefulness of human. If it is a function of usefulness to human, connection with human, that will completely attack the position here. We have to invalidate. Answer choice is 4. I'm not looking at the top 3. You can check it. Okay. The point, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about reading comp. This was the toughest one. Other 3 passages easy to handle. This is the toughest. What does a tough passage even mean? What does it mean? It takes a little more time to comprehend and understand. But barring, let's say, one question, maybe let's say question number 14, I could have got 9 marks out of it. Let's forget I could have got 6 marks out of it. And I would have probably taken, let's say, 4 minutes to read this passage. I read it very slow. Okay, you probably read this passage in about 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and then you can still manage to get questions correct. Therefore, reading comprehension, ladies and gentlemen, I need to have the skill set of comprehension. Skill set of comprehension mean understanding author's purpose, basic understanding. I need to understand the structure. If I give you a particular paragraph, you have to tell me what is the most important sentence. You have to look at, for example, what is the purpose of the sentence. Example, what is the main sentence here? Here, imagine reading passage is like driving. It's like driving. You've got a red signal, you've got a yellow signal, and let's say you've got a green signal. Green signal, red signal is something that I want to stop and understand. Yellow signal gives me stuff, which means, for example, this word, like for example, okay, I know. Next is for example. Green signal, I'm just going to read it. I'll not submit my memory. I have to recomprehend like that. That's the second thing. If I were to leave this passage, I don't have to get into depth. I need to have the understanding. Is that at the end of it, if I read something, I have to know the skill set. What sentence is important to me and what sentence is important not. That importance of a sentence does not come from the question. That is a mistake that everybody makes. You don't have to remember stuff to answer the question. No, you will be able to answer every single question of reading comprehension if you understand the passage. Because the cat creates question to test your understanding, not your memory. That's it. So your task at this point in time, of course, there is a lesson we can take in terms of understanding the how does answer choice options are created, what makes an option trap. That's for a different day, right? But that is understanding this particular part. But the point that I want to take at this stage of preparation, we'll worry about a little later. This stage of preparation, ladies and gentlemen, reading comprehension, you should get to the stage that you can understand the passage, comprehend whatever it is. So go ahead, take Aeon essays, read articles, comprehend for the fun of it. JSTOR daily, not JSTOR. JSTOR is journal storage that got a lot of journal. JSTOR daily, multiple articles. Smithsonian Magazine. So if you look at editorials, right, that is good to read. Of course, you have to read editorials, but that is all current affairs. But you'll not get passages like these in editorials or newspapers, right? Editorials are important. You should read it, of course. That also helps. But you have to start reading, comprehending stuff, other things. So you keep reading. After about 60 days, you see the difference that you have, right? And I'm also guessing that you guys are taking the mock test regularly. Every single mock test that you take, I have given solution to every single by taking about 20-30 minutes on each passage, helping you understand what are the wrong things. If you simply keep on taking the mock test and you have me as your teacher, there you have it. I'm going to go and quickly look at it. So I've got 8:55. I think some 10 minutes extra happened. So I'm going to, Arks will be listening. Arks, I'm going to eat 10 minutes of your time with your permission. No, you're supposed to start at 9. So I'll probably take about 5 extra minutes. Okay, let's go to VA. Very important and easy to handle. Okay, let's start with this first fellow. Paragraph summary is a short RC. That's it. You have to read, you predict the answer, and you look to eliminate. Okay, if let's say answer choice says pick me, you pick it, but your understanding will be look to eliminate. Let me explain this. Simply, I'll take this one passage. Chotu little paragraph. We have to look at summaries. What is the red signal here? What is the bloody most important sentence here? That's the first understanding. Who is the most important sentence? Why did the author write this? What is the purpose? What is the agenda of the author? Why did the author write this bloody paragraph? Foreign peacekeepers often exist in a bubble in poor countries in which they are deployed. They live in posh compounds, drive fancy vehicles, and distance themselves from local. Already, I can think the author is a little pissed. What are you doing? This may be partially justified as they are outsiders living in constant fear, performing a job that emotionally draining. The most important signal happened, but however, but whatever happens, that the real story of person. They are often despised by locals. They are despised by locals. Okay, and many would like them to leave. A better solution, very important signal, a problem and then a solution would be bottom up peace building, which will involve spending more time with communities, understand grievances, the whole thing. The reason why this author has written is to give a better solution. My answer choice need to have problem and the solution. That's what I'm looking. Look at answer choice number 1. Peacekeeping forces in foreign country are tended to be aloof for valid reasons. This may be partially justified. Okay. At this point in time, I'm just a little worried about this valid reason, partially justified. Okay. But would be more effective if they worked more closely. Solution given. Nice. The most important part is there. More effective, they work closely with local communities. Extravagant lifestyles and aloof attitude among foreigners working as perfect in poor country have justifiably made the target of local anger. Where is the solution? I need the whole, but check it. Peacekeeping duties would be more effectively managed by local residents. Check it. Environment in poor countries have tended to make foreign people live in live in enclaves, but this time to change the scenario. What is going? What specific thing they has mentioned? What is it? They are living in enclaves. We have to change this. Okay, we have to change this. What should we do? I'm going to tell you. From the enclave, no, in the street. They should live in the street. And the choice is one. I'm going to quickly go to VA, right? So so next is paragraph jumble. This is crackable. I'm not going to solve all the questions. I'll probably pick up two questions. It is crackable. The question setter, I have evaluated, looked at all the paragraph jumble question Cat has asked. Paragraph jumble is multiple, so you have to type in the answer. They do two things. They create a coherent and standalone paragraph. They are picking paragraph from articles. Now, if some paragraph is a, let's say, middle paragraph, they may have connection for the previous paragraph. The paragraph may start by words like however. They can start, no paragraph can start because it is connected previous paragraph. This guy will remove all this. Ensure that whatever is he's taking, he'll make it into a solid paragraph. Number two, remove obvious links. The word, sometimes the word however, but they just remove it. They just make us work very hard. But the thing is that the paragraph will have a start, may not have an end. Don't look for end because please understand they might take it from the middle. The stuff can still continue. It have a start. Another concept is echo word. There are words which repeats because there talks about one concept, right? There will be words that repeats. There are signal words, but, however, for example, pronouns, this, these, very important. And idea development. Everybody who wants to develop an idea will start globally and then go down. And general to specific. I'll talk about this. MBA is amazing. To get an MBA school, you have to write the CAT. In the CAT, there are three sections. One of the section is VRC. In VRC, we have got reading comprehension, verbal ability. In reading comprehension, that's how it's going to go. Broad to specific. So let's look at, for example, this simple paragraph. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's read this. In the central nervous system of other animal species. So this particular fellow needs somebody else. Other animal species. Such a comprehensive regeneration. I can already see this word. Regeneration, 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 regenerate. Okay. Echo. So some sentence has to start this fellow called regeneration. What of this sentence has to start regeneration? Has not yet been proven, beyond doubt. Has not yet been proven. There are some animal species, this regeneration is not there. Biologists from University of have discovered a uniquely rapid form of regeneration. Yeah, regeneration started here. Plus, it's a cute sentence also. In injured neurons and their function in the central nervous system. But 2 is a start. They study. Who are they? Biologists. Okay, 3 goes. It studied some cells which are solely responsible for this one. However, their ability to regenerate actually depends upon local injury. There, these cells of these fish. 4. And then the story is over. So there are people who can regenerate. And then it goes on to say there are other species which have not done regeneration. 2, 3, 4, 1. 3 marks. Done. This one I'll skip. It's slightly tough. Okay. But for example, look at this fellow. This fellow. Cat. This is cat. 1, 2, 3, 4. A popular response. A response we need to have a problem. This one can't be the start. Is to exhortation to plant more trees. People want to plant more trees. It seems all but certain. Look at this word. It, this. Okay, starting is 2 for sure. It seems all but certain that global warming will go well above 2 degrees. Quiet. How high? No one knows yet. Before them releases it. What is it? Who is them? What is it? which is why the scale of forest of Amazon has not been there. This is because trees by sequestrated carbon by absorbing carbon dioxide. Release it. Okay, this is because trees. Where is trees? The whole thing about trees, ladies and gentlemen, echo word trees. Okay, the trees. So the starting point of tree. This is because trees. Therefore, the starting sentence has to be one. Popular response. Response to what? A response to a problem. Global warming. Very clean. 2-1. And there's a clean connection. Burning them releases it. 3, over. Odd sentence, very similar. Okay. You have got a paragraph which is created. One fellow is odd. One paragraph should have one idea. The odd sentence they will pick from the same article. The topic will be same. Point will be different. For example, in this session, our discussion is about VARC. In the between, it is still talking about cat. In between the discussion VRC, I talk about DLR. It is still on the topic cat. But we are discussing VRC. Get out. Get out. Not now. Not part of this. After this, DLR. So you have to understand same thing. Echo word, you have to understand the main idea creating block. There are okay. This in itself require a lot many things which we'll discuss later, but just making one point with this one. Okay. There is a dark side to academic research. Oh, somebody is angry. Okay. Especially in India. And it centers in the phenomena of predatory journal. I can already see some fellows happening. Journal. I can see something. Okay. The phenomena of predatory journal. I think that this sentence is needed. Otherwise, sentence number 3 will not make any sense. Thus. But in truth, okay. Shift. But in truth. So which means for sentence number 2 to exist, you can, this is something negative. So something positive, but negative. So sentence number 2 needs support. Nah, he needs block. 2 needs support. 1 does not need support. 1 probably will be start. In look and feel, thus they are exactly like reputed journal. But in truth, this needs support. They claim to be indexed in the most influential database. Who are these? They predatory journal. The journals. They claim to index in the most influential databases. Say editorial boards, compromised top scientists and researchers claim to have rigorous peer review. Oh, must there 4 and 3 block in look and feel. Thus, they exactly reputed journal. But in truth, 1 is there. 1, 2, 3, 4 part of the story. 5, please get out. What is 5 talking? But a large section of researchers and scientists across the world are at the receiving end. What are we talking? We are not talking about scientists. We have not reached scientists. We'll talk about it later. We are just talking about first. Let journal ko thokne dena yaar. Let's screw the journal first. Let us attack the journal. Then we'll talk to scientists. No, answer is 5. I'm not doing this one. I will 9 5. So the point, ladies and gentlemen, is it is possible to get 5 6. You have to start today, right? You start taking the mocks. Bits and pieces. Simple thing is that go through. I've written everything. Okay, so let's start from here. Building comprehension skills. Read articles from diverse topics. I want to say JSTR daily, not JSTOR. Type JSTR daily. 1 article every day. 3,500 words. Read it for fun. You have to do it. You have to. Some article painful. Slowly you'll understand. When you don't understand the concept, Google that particular concept. Understanding concept will help. For example, you don't understand personhood. Everything is linked, no? Everything is linked. The world is linked. Subject is linked. Humanities are linked. So if you do research on one particular topic that you're reading, you'll understand some of the topic better. So do that. Just don't worry about speed. I want to increase speed. My speed is... Don't talk to me. When you started driving, I don't think that we started. I don't know how many of you started driving. You did not. First day of driving. I'm not going fast. I want to worry about this. What is this car? No, you did not worry about speed. You worried about skills. And speed automatically happened. And speed is not about reading fast. Speed is about being a sensible test taker. You get stuck in questions. That's why your speed gets problematic. Ensure that you become a champion of VA. You ensure this. Develop a process. I'm telling you a process by looking at the CAT papers from 2017. Last but not the least, take the mocks, watch my video solutions. So this you have to take the mocks. If you don't take the mocks, how will you learn? There's nothing in VRC. You need to develop skills, ladies and gentlemen. So that is what I had to tell you guys. Sir, would you sir, some questions? Anything? I'm done. Himank is the one who's asking the first question, right? Himank, good, good. I like you already. Sir, would you suggest us to start with V or RC or during monk? Do anything. Order of taking the test is irrelevant. Whether you start with VA, start with RC, then couple of VAs, then RC, then couple of VAs, up to you. Do what is comfortable to you. No problem. Thank you for the insight, sir. My question, how should I focus here on a VRC section? My weakness is the vocabulary part. Okay. Now, vocabulary, the more you read, when you come across word, then you learn this word, your vocabulary will increase. So please understand that while I think most of the time you have got enough vocabulary to understand majority of the passages. There are few passages which may use words, which some of these words are because you did not understand the concept. So the idea is that there are two choices. One, you can probably pick up books like Word Power Medici and spend 30 minutes every single day and just do it as sort of a course in itself. Or you continue to read, and the more you read, the vocabulary will increase automatically. You come across words, you'll frequently come across the same word, keep a note of it, and then carry on.
Chijo, I think the most common question.
Eagerly waiting for VRC 1000. Okay, I understand this. The first year when I launched VRC 1000, I started in September. The second time I started in August. Last year I started in July. So this year I was thinking people want to start early. Okay, I do understand. I've got the stuff in place. I'm just ensuring that the program is created and in stuff in such a manner it'll start soon before you know it. The VRC 1000 will be there. I think that what is important is you don't need to wait for the course. The stuff that you can do, you can already start doing. So as soon as the course starts, VRC 1000, 60 days, the course is designed to ensure that at least if you do the right thing, right work, what I tell you, in 60 days you'll improve. So we'll start soon. Definitely in the month of May, right? I'll try and launch it by this week itself. But worst come to worst, next week. Yeah. May. Satyam, May. First week or second week. May
जीजो,
only I'll
आपको
start.
आपको किसी को डांटने का मन है?
कौन है? What is the upper limit of time to be spent in RC? What is upper limit? There is no upper limit, no. You can spend 20 minutes also. So at the end of the day, you have to figure out अपने को कितना marks चाहिए. Start from there as an idea, roughly, right? How many questions I want to knock off. So I think when you say upper limit to spend on RC, I think that about 9 minutes is maximum. And you save a lot of time if you can read the passage once and understand the passage. And the number two thing is if you don't get stuck in a question. What is VARC 1000? Okay. Oh, sorry. Now VARC 1000 is a sort of bite-sized course that I have created. I created this course 3 years ago. It has got, let's say, about 80 video lessons of VARC for the CAT. Then I give daily test or daily doses. I take some live sessions. This is kind of a course which is meant for somebody who has got problems in VRC, but other things are sorted. And if you or let's say some ideally this course is for a self-study course. You already engage in some classroom or other thing, and you already having access to it. There is no need to sort of pay extra money to me. So if you are studying on your own, or you're self-study, or you're repeating, and if you want or test series, and if you believe that your VRC needs to be improved, that is for ideally for this course. Should we read one article each day from both ION and GST, or one article every day from the up to you, some of the parts up to you. You start, let's say, I'm just saying one article every day as an idea. I'm sure that it's the more you get interested, you just read, right? It's like, for example, we watched a lot of Netflix movies. We don't stick to, I'll watch one movie every day. No, when you watch, you watch. So don't put a target like that. If I don't read it tomorrow, it's not there. I'm just saying that develop that habit. Wherever that leads you, let it lead you. Maybe you'll pick up some other articles from here, there. You probably read, let's say, philosophy now or something. Wherever it leads you, leads you. Let it be a journey, and not necessarily something you want to do. Okay. If stuck between two options, should I mark an option? Just leave it. Leave it. They just, unless you want to take a gamble, up to you. Uh, yeah, usually I'll take a I'll pick a gamble. It depends. So, but otherwise that's up to you. But I think that is better to leave. If you're confused, just leave it. So if you can pay for nonsensical actors for not so good seminar, it is worth the purchase. We are 1,000 users. Ah, yes, of course it is. The program is awesome. Hmm? Does classroom course in CL has VRC 1000 included? It is not, because the program is not designed per se thinking a classroom student in mind. Because the classroom is also pretty comprehensive, right? So you've got everything that is there. Plus, as a test series, you got access to the solution that I give. But it's not included in it. It's a separate course in itself. But I'm sure that if you're a classroom student, you'll get at least half. You can pick the course as a substantial discount. So that is there if you wish to take it. My suggestion is, if there is no need, you have got good teachers with you. But if you feel the need, then you can, then of course take it.
So it's 9:10. Jijo, thanks a lot for your energy
Chalo,
and thanks
bye.
for the power pack session. Before I bring in ARCs into the picture for DILR, please leave your comments on how did you feel the session went, how helpful it was, or how effective it was. What is your
Haha,
feedback? Please
give
post.
some love, please.
I'd also like the videos, sir. Right? Okay. So turns out as we are prepping for 99 percentile here, uh, as we were prepping for 99 percentile here, poor chap Rituraj Gaikwad got out at exactly 99 today. So all indications towards 99 today. So the next session is about is the smart DILR cracker, and DILR quintessentially, without saying, goes to be probably or perceived to is perceived to be the toughest section in CAT. And this is where a lot of people, while taking the paper, sir, 40 minute VRC करने के बाद उसके बाद how do I concentrate on DILR? It is also at the end of the day some kind of comprehension that goes into it. So here comes Arcs with his magic, with his ways of approaching questions of DILR, actually showcasing to you how is it that he would have probably done the paper, or actually how has he actually done that paper, because he actually attempted CAT 2021 slot 1, and that is what he's going to discuss. Arcs, all yours.
Thank you so much, Ravi. And you know what? It's very unfair of you to put me after GP Sir's quant cracker and even more challenging session after a Gijo's absolutely brilliant session that I also had the good fortune of going through completely. And I'm sure, like SMJ and Rahul and a lot of people, Yash Gupta, Neha Sharma, all of you have been commenting. Jijo has been very insightful and fantastic and amazing. And that makes me feel, hey, what should we do to make sure that even the DILR, remember one thing, like Nishta Sethi, I don't know whether she's still there in the group and listening to us today. She said, hey, I cracked the VARC and the quant, but I could not crack DILR, and because of which I might have to write the CAT again. DILR, or the data interpretation and the logical reasoning section, to my mind, is a very easy section. Now, before you guys start hitting me with brickbats, hear me out. And the next 45 minutes to 50 minutes, we will see this, that if you keep your calm, cracking this section is actually going to be a cinch. I have a very different take, or rather a completely new take for you to understand how is DILR different from quantitative ability, the QA, or for that matter, the VARC that we just saw. When you talk about QA, there is an arithmetic. There are 6 different topics in arithmetic. There's the percentages, the ratios, simple interest, compound interest. They're all related, of course. Averages, mixtures, time and work, time, speed, and distance. You have algebra, indices, logs, quadratics, progressions, in inequalities, or whatever not, geometry, numbers, mensuration. If you want to be really good at quantitative ability in or as a whole, getting a 99 percentile is not going to be easy if your fundamentals, basics of all these areas, and there are about 18 to 20 topics, if I just count the topics, 18 to 20 topics. If you are not good in the basics and the application of these basics and the concepts, you are not going to get at 99 that easily. VARC, we have seen that. A lot of comments have come in. Sir, I can't understand the goddamn word itself. What are you telling me that, oh, it's so obvious answer kind of things? Of course, Gijo can do it. I can't, maybe. Or some of us can't. We need to improve the vocabulary systematically. Like he said, if there is going to be an epistemology session or a passage, I need to understand what does goddamn epistemology all about, and read a lot of these passages on epistemology or a philosophy or a psychology or a business or a management, economics, or whatever else that come in your CAT. Which means to say, there is a gestation period. There is a gestation period before you can crack your verbal ability or reading comprehension. If you're not good in grammar, not good in vocabulary, not good in your reading speech, and more importantly, comprehending whatever you're reading, VARC is not going to be that easy as it appears when Gijo talks. What am I saying? That is not true for DILR. You can start getting marks and percentiles in DILR from today itself, day one. And that is the beauty of DILR as compared. I'm not saying the others are not easy. I'm not saying others are very difficult. All I'm saying is, like unofficial God again is saying on screen, LRDI is all about cool nerves and a good approach. I will completely agree with him completely in that sense, because if you pick the right sets, you need just 2 sets to crack the 99 percentile. And with that very, very basic introduction, which is already of 7 minutes, may I also request Ravi Teja to come back on screen so that he will tell me whether every one of us is able to see the Google Chrome would like to record this computer screen. No, I don't want that one. I will share, and if my friend Ravi can tell me whether they can see the PPT.
I can't see it yet.
You can't see it yet. Okay, I will try. There is check Google Chrome if I already attached. I will just try it again once more. Let me see if I can. Is this fine or no? Not possible. Okay. So can I ask you to do one thing, Ravi? If you don't mind, I will send you the passage, or I will send it to Shreya. And if you guys can show the PPT that is there, it will be really, really nice before we start off. Okay. Yeah, this is the one. It's going as it goes. One of the things that I will tell you guys. Let me go back to the StreamYard. Okay. One of the things that I'm going to tell you, very, very simple, is that DILR, again, like Gijo has said and GP sir has said, I'm not sure whether this exam that is going to be in CAT 2022 is going to be a 2-hour exam or a 1-hour exam or a 3-hour exam, which means it could be a 40-minute game or a 60-minute game as far as the DILR section is concerned. If it's a 40-minute game like it was for CAT 2021, you had 4 sets. 6 questions, 2 sets of 6 questions, and 2 sets of 4 questions. Which means to say that the idea is, if you can pick up the 6 and 4 question set, 2 of them properly, I think you can easily crack it. Crack the 99 percentile that we are talking about all this while. Ravi, by any chance, did you get it?
I'm
But then,
uploading the PPT here.
yeah. The other important thing is I won't be able to write it if you show it, is it? Let me see if that matters. I can change, but can I write anything?
No, if I show, I think you can't write.
That's very interesting. So I will come back to the set. We can while you're going to show the set, I will also. I think there's some kind of a Google Chrome setting that I need to do for a moment. I will do that. But here is what I want you to look at it, guys. And Ravi, if you can just showcase that at something like 10 questions, 30 marks, you will get a 97 plus. And 11 questions, you will get a 99 percentile without much of an issue. Yeah, I understand that, Himank. If I have to change that, but we will figure it out. Don't worry about it. So that means to say, out of the 20 questions, if I can do 2 sets of 1 6 question set and 1 4 question set, the fact of the matter is you will start with a 97 98 percentile without much ado. And like I said in the very beginning, it is not going to take too much of a time to do those 2 sets even today without having gone through any basics at all. And that is what I'm going to show to you. And that is what we see how the DLR score versus percentile also grows. Please look at it. I think that something else happened. You will have to showcase that, Mr. Ravi.
So can you confirm if this is visible?
Yeah, it is visible, but you'll have to take it into a slide mode. Okay, this has gone somewhere else. Yeah, okay. So very, very clearly, even at 75th percentile, at a 75th percentile that you guys can see on screen, you just need 13 marks. That's 13 marks is something like 5 questions correctly. 5 questions correctly. That's it. 5 questions is actually 15 marks and you'll get an 80 percentile, 80th percentile. And IIM Ahmedabad's cutoff is 75 percentile cutoff. IIM Calcutta and others except IIM Lucknow is 85 percentile. That means even at the 85th percentile, 18 marks or 1 set of 6 questions should do the trick. Now, Saranya Mitra is saying, so what if the 6 question set is difficult one and the 2 sets of 4 are on the easier side? Now, that is a very good question that you have asked me, Saranya. And here is what I want to answer. In general, if there are 4 sets that are given to you, you will be surprised that out of the 2 questions, which are 6 question setters, one will be either easy or a medium level difficulty. One might be tougher, absolutely possible. One will be easier or medium. And out of the 4 question setters, out of the 2, one will still be very easy to solve. This has been the trend, not just in slot 1, it's slot 2 and slot 3 also. Yeah, it will take a little time to solve the 6 question setter. Normally, if it takes 11-12 minutes for an easy set, it might take a 13-14 minutes for a slightly more medium or difficult level set, but it's very much possible to do that. Okay. Now, Ravi, I want you to do a small favor to me. Now, we have 40 minutes to go or 30 minutes to go. I want to showcase 2 sets which are very, very easy to solve. This is slot 1 CAT 2021 itself. Now, I will come back to the strategy. Okay, let me also take you to the strategy in a moment. I said 4 sets in 40 minutes, 2 sets of 6 questions and 2 sets of 4 questions. A simple strategy could be, like GP sir almost always says, can we spend 2 to 3 minutes per set to decide on whether to solve it or not? That would take away 8 to 10 minutes of your time. Very, very dangerous to do this, but as an idea, especially because we are only in May. especially because we are only in May, and till up to June you can do this. That would take it, but you're still left with 30 minutes. Now, if you can pick up that one question, 6 question set and 1 4 question set and solve it correctly, you're talking about a 97 percentile in a GIF, in no time kind of things. And if you still have more time, if the 4 question setter is easier, if the 4 question set is easier, you will have more time and you can either crack a new third set or at least a few questions from the third set. This is the most thing. And Ayush Singhania, you might find LRDI to be difficult. Here is what I'm going to showcase to you in slot 1. I said 36 minutes that we have. There are, I will tell you, there are 4 sets. I'll show you 4 sets and spend a little time. I'll give you the time to go through one set very clearly. And I'll show you how it is, even without any background in DILR, you can crack it. Okay, don't worry about negative marking jamming for a moment. Now, this was a kind of a distribution set where you had 8 authors writing 18 research papers, publishing across 4 different months, and each of them being either from 3 different countries and 3 different areas which they were belonging to, like a manufacturing, automation, and logistics. So there were many, or rather a complicated set of distribution logistics in this going on. 8 people writing 18 papers within 4 months, individually, of course. Each of these 8 guys or 8 authors from 3 different countries and from 3 different areas. When you look at it, it looks like very, very difficult. But trust me, if you're 10-12 minutes you do, you can crack this set. But I will not bother about it for the moment right now. Then there is another set. This set, when I saw this in slot 1 on the day 1 of the CAT 2021, on the day 1 and the slot 1 of CAT 2021, it was like a sitter. It is a sitter of the highest order because you are asking, the questions asked somebody to just add and look at a percentage increase. You are far better than that even before you start off your preparation. If you have done your 7th class, 8th class maths, that's more than sufficient to crack this question. Third, this was a slightly interesting set. Yes, exactly, Vipul. Almost similar types of sets were there in all the 3 sets, all the 3 slots. This was a little more interesting, but 2 to 3 questions were straightforward, even if you don't get all the 4 questions, which is a mango smoothie, apple smoothie, making of a smoothie from various ingredients and raw materials set. But what I will leave you with before I come back in a moment is a beautiful set. It's a beautiful set on 7 friends or 7 people having friends, acquaintances, and strangers. This was followed by 6 questions. What I want you to do is, I will take less than a minute to come back to you, while Ravi, if you can just add yourself into the stream and make sure that you read up this question for everybody so that I can rejoin after solving my Google problem. Is that fine? Yeah. I'll just see if I can share once again.
So I hope the presentation is visible now in full screen.
Yeah, it is.
So this was the set that sir was talking about. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. See, basically these are different names, but ideally you should read them as A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Are 7 people in a town. Any pair of them could be strangers, acquaintances, or friends. All relations are mutual. So basically, what does this word mean? All relations are mutual, right? Because if I am your friend, you are automatically my friend. That means, let us say there is a match going on between Mumbai Indians and Lucknow Super Giants. If Mumbai Indians and Lucknow Super Giants are playing a game, in the matches played tally, you will find one match for Mumbai Indians also and one match for Lucknow Super Giants also. You will find a total of 2 matches happening over here, but actually what has happened is only one match. This is one thing that we need to keep in mind. So the total will always come even, right? So all the relationships are mutual. For example, if A is a friend to B, B is also a friend to A. This goes without saying. Similarly, if A is a stranger to B, B is also a stranger to A. Partial information. So this is something missing data. Partial information about the number of friends, acquaintances, strangers of each of these people is given in the table below. So this is the partial information that is given, that A has one acquaintance, A has 4 strangers among these 6 people, apart from A himself or herself. The following additional facts are also given. A, B, C are mutual strangers. A doesn't know B, A doesn't know C. That means B doesn't know C, B doesn't know A. That means C doesn't know B, C doesn't know A. That is what we know, right? Then A, D, F are E's friends. A, D, and F are E's friends. All right. C and G are friends. Every friend of A is an acquaintance of B, and every acquaintance of B is a friend of A. Okay, that's how it is going. And every friend of B is an acquaintance of A, and every acquaintance of A is a friend of B. So A and B are related to each other in such a way that mutually they are strangers, but they have a common circle. Friend of A is acquaintance of B, and acquaintance of B is friend of A. Also, friend of B is acquaintance of A, and every acquaintance of A is also a friend of B. So we can get started with this, sir.
Just give me one moment. Yeah, I think now it is done. Now I think it should be fine. Just give me half a minute more. I think this is now should come in. Yeah. Can you now see?
Yeah, now I can see your presentation.
Okay. Thank you so much for this and for all of you waiting for this, guys. So you have given them the basic idea about the set, right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So here is what I'm going to take it up, my friends. I want you to look at this particular question. When you read it for the first time, it appears probably easy or difficult. I don't know. I like said in the very beginning itself, you really don't need any background information except ability to systematically read the information, record the information, and voila, you will get your answers in no time. Let's very, very quickly look at it. Amuda, ABC, D, E, F, G are 7 people. Now we know one important thing, that there are 7 people. Now each of them is either a friend, acquaintance, or a stranger. So I know that if Amuda has 1 acquaintance and 4 strangers, one of them has to be a friend. As simple as that. Similarly, Gautam, because there are only 6 people, Amuda has B, C, D, E, F, G, 6 more relationships. Similarly, for Gautam, if there are 3 acquaintances and 2 strangers, 1 friend has to be there. I don't have other information, no problems. Here is where I will make a simple table like this: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because I don't have to really write the names Amuda and Bharatan, etc. And similarly, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I now know certain information that is straightforward given to me. Now, remember 9:30, let's say we think of starting it. Let's look at how simple this particular set could have been if you did not get overwhelmed because it's a CAT exam. Now, one Important thing, all relationships are mutual. For example, if Amuda is a friend of Bharatan, then Bharatan is also a friend of Amuda. That's mutual. Similarly, if Amuda is a stranger, then Bharatan, then Bharatan is also a stranger to Amuda. Now let's look at very first sentence that I have given, and let me see if I can answer this. Amuda, Bharatan, and Chandran are mutual strangers. So Amuda is a stranger to Bharatan, Amuda is a stranger to Chandran. Amuda is a stranger to Bharatan, Amuda is a stranger to Chandran. Which means Bharatan is also a stranger to Amuda and Chandran is also a stranger to Amuda. Bharatan is a stranger to C and C is a stranger to B. The logic here is, with just one sentence, we have put it. Now, I have used S as a stranger. I will use A as an acquaintance and F as a friend. Now, look at this. A, D, and F are Ezel's friends. So, Ezel has A as a friend, D as a friend, and F as a friend. In other words, A's friend is E. Similarly, D's friend also is E, and F's friend also is E. Because please understand, it is mutual. Very, very clearly, if A is a friend of E, E is a friend of A. That is the logic of it. So I have added this. Whenever you are solving questions in data interpretation, logical reasoning, or whatever, and there are conditions given to you, there will almost always be conditions given to you. The best thing is to make a tick for yourself mentally, 1, 2, 3, 4, and say, okay, 1 is over, 2 is over. It starts becoming very, very easy. Now the point is, C and G are friends. C and G are friends. G and C are friends. So this is also done. Now, interestingly, look at the fourth statement. Every friend of Amuda is an acquaintance of Bharatan. Every friend of Amuda. Who is Amuda? Now, Amuda has only one friend. Remember this. So, Amuda's friend is E. Every friend of Amuda is an acquaintance of Bharatan. That means Bharatan's acquaintance will be E. Bharatan's acquaintance will be E. Clearly, if A is F, B is A, for B to E, the relationship between B to E is an acquaintance. E to B also has to be A, because it is mutually, this relationship is mutual, obviously. That is one. So every friend of Amuda, and there's only one friend of Amuda who is there, which is E, has to be an acquaintance of Bharatan. And every acquaintance of Bharatan is a friend of Amuda. Now, very clearly, if there is only one friend, there is only one acquaintance. That means this I can clearly see that there is possibly only one acquaintance, because if there is a second acquaintance of Bharatan, that would be a friend of Amuda. But there is no second friend of Amuda. There is no second friend of Amuda. So clearly, this is 1, 2. This is 1, 2. This is done. Now look at the last one. Every friend of Bharatan is an acquaintance of Amuda, and every acquaintance of Amuda is a friend of Bharatan. Now, I know this one more time. One more interesting thing is, every acquaintance of Amuda is a friend of Bharatan. There is only one acquaintance of Amuda. He should be a friend. And every friend of Bharatan is an acquaintance of Amuda. That means this also has to be 1. Therefore, this has to be 4, because these two have to be mutually same. Now, who is the friend or acquaintance? Who is the acquaintance or friend of Bharatar or Amudan, A or B? That's the only important thing that I need to figure out. I have done all of them. Now, can I look at it? Can I look at, okay, either it could be D, F, or G. So A can have acquaintance D, F, or G. D, F, or G. Correct? Or B can have D, F, or G. B can have a friend who could be D, F, or G. That's the only thing possible. Because B, we need to have a friend, and therefore it has to be an acquaintance of Amuda. Now look at it. We know that if it is D, D can be a friend. D can be a friend of Bharatan. D can be a friend. Can F be a friend of Bharatan? F has only one friend, but that friend is already E here. That means B cannot have a friend called F, because F has only one friend, because it's clearly given to me that F has only one friend and F's friend is already E. So B cannot F, this cannot be F, this cannot be F. Similarly, Gautam also has only one friend, which is what we found out, 3 plus 2 plus 1. But Gautam's friend is already C. That means this also cannot be F, which means this has to be F, this has to be A, because they are mutually, this friend is an acquaintance, this acquaintance is a friend. So A is D, D is A, this is F. Now we also know that there are 4 strangers to Amuda. Who are the other 2 strangers? Clearly F and G. This is F and G. There are 4 strangers to Bharatan. This is S and S, F and G. This is S and S. Just understand that if I fill this, I have my answers. I have my simple answers. Now, just think about where will I start. Gautam has 1 friend, 3 acquaintances, and 2 strangers. 2 strangers I have already got. 1 friend I have already got, but I need 3 acquaintances. These 3 are my acquaintances very clearly. These 3 are the acquaintances of Gautam. Who are these? D, E, F. D, E, F. So this has to be A and A, therefore, very clearly. So I got that also. This is taken care of. Now, look at what else is there. There are, Dinesh has 2 strangers. Dinesh has to have 2 strangers. Dinesh already has 2 Fs, 2 As. That means these 2 have to be strangers. These 2 have to be strangers. These two has to be strangers now. Now let's look at F. F has 1 friend. I don't know. We still do not know how many strangers are there. Wait. Then look at Chandran. Chandran has to have 1 acquaintance. And we do not know how many friends. Dinesh, we said just now, 2, 2, 2, we got it here. Now let's look at Ezil. Ezil has to have 1 stranger. Ezil has to have 1 stranger. Everything else is filled up except this guy. So Ezil's stranger is C, C's stranger is E. This is done. Now Chandran has 1 acquaintance. This guy has to be the acquaintance, and my solution is done. So you see, Chandran has 4 strangers and 1 acquaintance. Ezil has 3 friends, 2 acquaintances and 1 stranger. And Funny has 3 strangers, 2 acquaintances, and 1 friend. Remember, guys, it's just about from 9:33 I started. It is 9 minutes. Add even 3 more minutes for this. No problems. 12 minutes. Even make it 13 minutes. Because this one set, if you are systematically going, saying that, okay, because there are only 5. Now, somebody asked, what if it is very difficult? Any question in logical reasoning, this is logical reasoning, will be difficult or not will be difficult based on how systematic you go. If you go in a very systematic order, the way I have gone, by looking at, hey, what is available, what can be or cannot be, you have your answer straight away. Now look at the questions. Who are Gautam's acquaintances? Gautam's acquaintances are D, E, and F. You have D, E, and F as the answer. Which of these pairs share the same type? C and E, D and G. C and E is a stranger. D and G is an acquaintance. So it's not the same answer. So 1 cannot be the answer. B and C, B and C I know are strangers. D and E, we just now have friends. So this cannot be the answer. B and E, what is B and E? Acquaintance. Funny and Gautam, acquaintance. That's my answer. Who is the acquaintance of Amuda? Clearly D. Who is the acquaintance of Chandran? Clearly F. How many friends does Ezil have? Ezil, we just now found 3 friends. And how many people are either a friend or a friend of Ezil? There are 3 friends of Ezil, but A does not have any extra friend. D has 1 extra friend called B, and F does not have any extra friend. That means 1 extra friend added. That is answer is 4. once you crack the beauty of a DI or a LR, especially the logical reasoning type of questions, the beauty of this is that you can crack that set in no time. You can crack that set in no time once the entire the table is properly made. This is a set 6 threes are 18 marks. And if I just go back to this, one set if I do 18 marks would give me IIM Lucknow's cutoff. Now the point is, like I said in the basic logic, can we afford to do this? Can we afford to do this? Can you spend 2-3 minutes to understand whether, hey, is this familiar to me or not? The way to look at DILR, the way to look at attempting questions in is based on two very, very important concepts. I want you to look at this. Two extremely important concepts called familiarity and complexity. If the familiarity is high and complexity is not high, that is what you need to look at it. Now, very, very clearly, if you look at what I have done this in this 2 6-setters, this has only 7 people, 5 different conditions, and only 3 different types of relationships. Whereas if you look at set 1, there are 18 research papers, 8 authors, 4 different months in which they are there, and 3 different areas and 3 different countries, and more importantly 9 different conditions. So when I look at a 6-setter, those of you are looking at, I'm not saying this is difficult, right? It's a very easy set actually. But when I am in the middle of an exam, and I'm in the middle of the exam, it's not easy that I have to take a decision. The decision has to be taken on a familiarity to complexity. Here the complexity is high, whereas familiarity is also high. In the next one, the familiarity is high, but the complexity is low. I will choose this, even though I know that I can solve this. And that is the way to really, really, really crack this paper. Now, 9:30 I started really solving this. And if it's 15 minutes also, if I solve this, now let's look at the absolutely silly set that is given to you. The most silliest set that has come in every CAT exam. In every CAT exam, you will find this kind of a sitter without fail. You will almost always find that there will be one set of 4 questions where you will get a 75 percentile without much of an ado. Even if you can't solve the 6-setter things, this 4-setter, which is simple addition, subtraction kind of things, would have been very, very easy. Now, before I begin, let's look at what this set is all about. It looks big, it looks intimidating, but read it carefully. Let's look at, I want you to understand this also for your own understanding's sake. How much time does it take for us to understand or read the set? Here is what the timer I'm starting. Subcategory bookcases, something is given, okay, whatever, sales in million rupees. I will read what the data is. The horizontal bars in the above diagram represent 2020 aggregate sales. So this is 2020 aggregate sales, the horizontal bars in million rupees of a company for the different subcategories of its products. The top 4 product subcategories, that is bookcases, chairs, furnishings, tables. Bookcases, chairs, furnishings, tables. These 4 belong to the furniture category. The bottom 4, accessories, copiers, machines, phones. Accessories, copiers, machines, so belong to the technology category, while all other products belong to the office supply category. This entire thing is office supply. For each of the above product subcategories, there is a vertical line indicating the sales of it in corresponding in 2019. So the vertical line is 2019 and the bar is 2020. Now, The total sales in 2019 from products in the office supply category is closest to. So I need office supply. I need to add this, and this. I'll get my answer for my question number 7. Look here. Look here. It's only 1.5 minutes. If I'm reading it, it will not take more than a minute to read. And see the percentage increase in sales of furniture category. How many subcategories had sales of 4 million or more? The improvement index or whatever else it is. I now know that, boss, this was not a difficult set to solve. Now let's look at this solving. I mean, of course, if you have not seen this in the actual CAT 2021 paper and you are writing slot 1, you should be kicking your backsides off. Having said that, the pressure in an exam, thinking that, hey, I will start with the logical reasoning section, etc., kind of things, can make a difference to your performance. That is where experimentation comes. In the previous session of VA-RC, a lot of people asked me, sir, should we start with VA? Should we start with RC? What is the best thing? Himank Saklecha, you have been asking this question. My answer to that, yaar, dono try kar lena. Dono try kar lo. Try both. One of them will work, because what might be good for me may not be good for you. What may be good for somebody else might not be good for somebody else, in that sense of the word. You need to figure out what is absolutely perfect for you. And for that, we have 15 prime marks and 15 countdown marks, not to talk about the 15 different sectional tests that we give you also. In other words, 45 tests per section. Please experiment some 5 to 10 of them, both sides, and then take a decision. Anyway, let me continue with this. The total sales in 2019 from products. Look at the answers also. 13.5, 12.5, 18, 16.5. I have to be careful about it. So this is what? 3.5, 3.6, 3.7. 3.7 plus 0.4, 4.1. 4.1 plus 2. 6.1 minus 0.2. So 5.9. 5.9, 0.4. 6.3, 6.4, 6.5, 6.6, 6.7. 7.7, 8.2. 8.2 plus 4, 12.2 plus 3, 12.5, 12.5 plus 1, 13.5, 13.6 approximately. 13.5 should be my answer. Simple. 13.5 should be my answer, because nothing else is close to that. Nothing else is close to that. The percentage increase in sales in furniture category. Now the point is, I need to look at furniture category. I have to add these things. Furniture in 2019. Furniture in 2019 and furniture in 2020. Both I need to look. Now already I got office supplies as 13.5, mind you, for 2019. Anyway, look at this. This is about 2, 1.8. 1.8 plus 6.2. Almost it's 6 plus 2, 8. 8 plus 2, 10. 10 plus 4.4. 14.4. Approximately 14.4 or less or plus or minus something. What is it going to? 2.2. 2.2 plus 7, 9.2, 9.2 plus 2.1, 9.2 plus 2.1 is 11.3, 11.3 plus 4.5, 15.6, 15.6. That's about 1.2 out of 14%. 1.2, 12 by, in other words, we are talking about 12 by 144 or 1 by 12, which is approximately 8.33%. That's 8% is my answer. Very simple. 2 questions, I'll get it in no time. It's only 5 minutes since I started after reading in a very slow manner. How many subcategories had sales of 4 million? First and 4 million is, this is 4 million, remember. How many subcategories had sales of 4 million or more in 2019? In 2019, this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 subcategories. And registered an increase of 25% in 2020. Now, this is 6.2 to 7. 6.2 to 7 is just about 13, 14, 12, 13%. It is not. 25% is 1.5. We should increase. 6.2 plus 1.5 is 7.7. It is not. This is not. This is not even any increase. This also, if you look at it, 4.4, 4.3 to 5.1. 4.3 to 5.1 cannot be more than 20%. 4.3 plus 8.8 is 5.1. It is less than 20%. It cannot be this also. This is anyway reduction. Now, look at this. This is 5.75 to 7.7. That's about 2 out of 57. What is, even if I take it at 60, even if it's 60, 25% is 1.5 of this. Remember, it is 60, 15. So clearly this is more than 25%. We have only 1 as the answer. And this is a theta question. 1 is the answer for this. You may not want to do this. You may want to do this. That's a different issue. But that's a 6.5 minutes still. Remember, the first set I have taken 15 minutes, 16 minutes even. Doesn't matter. If this is about 7 minutes and I have one more question to solve. Improvement index for a category is the maximum percentage increase in sales from 2019 to 2020 among any of its subcategories. The correct order of in increasing order of this improvement. So any of its subcategories, it's not the full category, it's the subcategory. So I need to figure out which of them has the highest. Look at it. Which of them has the highest? This is almost 25%. This is anyway less. This is how much? 3 to 4.4. This is 3.1 to 4.4. That's 1.3 by 31. This is around 13 by 31. It's about 40%. So you can see this, that your technology will be about 40% approximately. Now let's look at office supplies. Is there anything which is big? Look at this, 1.9 to 3.1. That's about 1.2 on 19. That's close to more than 50%. So one subcategory has more than 40%. So office supply is definitely greater than your technology. And then look at this one. This is hardly any amount. 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 Clearly, furniture will be, okay, what is he asking? In increasing order. Clearly, furniture is less, technology is less, OS is less. Furniture, technology, office supply. That's going to be your answer. Furniture, technology, office supply. It is about one category. A lot of people make a mistake here where they take the entire category. You don't even have to solve that everything. You don't have to look at total of 2019, total of 2019 here, because it's very clearly given that in among any of its subcategories. So the maximum percentage increase among any of its subcategories. So maximum percentage increase clearly is around 50% for one of these categories in office supply. Here it's about 40%. And here it is much, much less. You can see clearly that this is just about what? 6.2 to 7. That's about 12, 13, 15% maximum. You will get your answers straight away. That's 9 minutes, guys. 9 minutes, guys. I mean, that is after explaining, like GP sir has said, if I'm explaining so much and then I'm doing it, that is when I will get my answer. That is when I'll get my answer. What I want you to understand here is simple. If you want to crack DILR, the only thing that you require is the right kind of a practice and the right kind of a approach when you are, systematic approach when you're solving these questions. When we do DILR in lots of these classes, somebody was asking DILR 1000, Ravi has done this DILR 1000 along with me last time kind of things. What we do is to expose you to various types of questions. The familiarity index, unlike everything else, unlike your quant, unlike your verbal ability, what is quintessential, what is critical for DILR is the familiarity index. The more familiar you become, the better you are going to be in solving those questions. That is number one. The second thing is your ability to quickly pick up the complexity index, so to say, if I may use the word. So there is a familiarity index and a complexity index, and there are only two choices to this. If you can understand that, wherever it is too high or complex, you just avoid it. Wherever there is a high familiarity, you kind of ideally pick it up first along with the whether it is DIL or not, doesn't matter. In fact, one of the things that we tell you is don't bother too much about if it's a DI part or a LR part, because CAT has been kind of jumbling it up majorly, that even though they give you DI, it's a part of logic, and even though they give you a logic, there will be a lot of numbers involved in that too. Okay, with that, let me a couple of things that I want you to do it. We have 7 months to go. We have about 7 months to go. Approximately, actually, May, June, July, August, September, October, and November. 7 months is a very, very, very long time to be able to crack this. Our endeavor will be, along with our classroom products and test series, we will try to launch DILR 1000 also by June, because you really don't need so much of effort. I mean, verbal के लिए बहुत fight मारना पड़ता है, QA के लिए fight मारना पड़ता है, but DILR के लिए tension नहीं लेने का, बहुत आसान है. Trust me, when it's about in telling yourself that is actually easy, then you will suddenly realize that, oh shit, man, it was not at all difficult. Okay. So that is what I would like you to look at it. Now, couple of questions I'm going to answer. Like, for example, Sriram is asking, sir, if I'm stuck in a set halfway and feel clueless, I think somewhere around the 4th or the 5th or the 6th minute, worst case, 6th minute, get out of that, Sriram. Okay. How do we develop the skill to represent the question information in easy format? This is where familiarity, and Tushar, this is exactly. So the way I have immediately thought about a table or a kind of a matrix, this happens through familiarity. If I know the question, I know how to solve it, it becomes easier for you to solve it. You need to do it a little more in life, and that is what you can very, very easily get it. Okay? Okay. Pranav, sorry. Sir, in mocks, mostly in DLR, I am unable to solve a set properly, but while analyzing, I can easily solve 2 sets. So the problem is you're trying to probably solve all of them. Do this idea of spending 2 minutes of each of them. Pick one which has the highest familiarity, or 2 which have the highest familiarity and less complexity. You will be surprised that you will start scoring 97 percentile in each and every mock itself. How to revise in I am lacking in this and not getting clear answer anywhere. So unofficial God is asking me this question, and let me answer that question to you, unofficial God. Revision is based on the types of questions that comes to you. Now there are 2 levels. First, if you are a classroom student, we give you about 15, 16 handouts. Each of the handouts focuses on a type of question, whether it is bar charts, pie charts, line graphs, missing numbers, tables with percentages, tables without percentages, etc., etc. Similarly, in DI, in logical reasoning, arrangements, distribution, selection, Venn diagrams, networks, cubes, puzzles, various games and tournaments, such kind of questions will be given to you. The idea will be that you have to go through these 15, 16, let's say handouts, if I can call them, first in the class and then the revision. That's the first thing. The second thing that you should do is, when you write tests, one of the biggest and the strongest feature of the career launcher mocks and the mock analysis actually is what we call the drill down analysis. In the drill down analysis, what we actually do is club similar types of sets into a grouping. For example, all Venn diagram or set theory questions come as a grouping. So when you want to do a revision unofficial God, all you need to do is pick up all of these at one single go, and you will be able to do that. Do it in 3 days, 4 days kind of things. You can easily do that. How do you calculate all the individual scores and overall percentage performance? Can you explain this? Devjit, it's just the addition of all these individual scores. You will get an overall final. There's absolutely nothing. You please go through this video and see the numbers. You will understand it automatically. What if I to choose between 2 sets where one has more familiarity but it is on complex side, and one that is easy but unfamiliar? One is easy but unfamiliar. Which one should I pick? This is a very difficult question to answer, Pranav. My answer would be pick the one which is unfamiliar, which does not look very, very complex. Spend 3 minutes on it, because in the 3rd minute, if you don't understand after reading it, then you get out of it and go back to this. If you're able to understand it, because if it is less complex, That means it takes less time to read because there are less conditions, correct? The moment there are less conditions and less complexity, you can easily pick it up and be able to solve it. If you're not able to solve it, let's say fourth minute is over and you're not still making a clue head or tail out of it, get out of it and go back to your familiar area. Sir, logical games questions involve maths. Yes, absolutely, Abhinav. Those are the ones that I find difficult. So the best thing is, as you keep writing your mocks, there are 30 mocks that will give you, for example. You will be almost be sure, Abhinav, that such kind of logical games questions will be there in these 30 mocks, maybe about 12 to 15 of them. 12 to 15 of them. Various games with logical numbers. 12 to 15 regularly whenever they happen, and the unofficial god has asked to revise them. If you can do it, I think you will be comfortable. Absolutely. Sometimes sets are lengthy, should we pick them? Anushka, my answer to that question is don't pick them in the first round. If the only that the other sets are not there to be solved, that is when you can pick it up. How much precision do we need in DI? As in QA, we are finding answers close to approximation. Shreya, here you need to get almost close to, especially logical reasoning, there is nothing like precision. It's 100% precision. DI, like I showed you a little while back, you will need a similar kind of an approximation as what is in quant. How can CL online class students get more live and interactive sessions with you, sir? Priyanka Balla, are you talking about me or are you talking about a Jijo or a GP sir or a Ravi Teja sir? We are all there available in various kinds of live sessions and interactive sessions on a regular basis. And I'm pretty sure that you can get in touch with us as we go along. Sometimes sets are lengthy. I asked, does solving Sudoku really help? I don't think so. Sir, we will get flexibility of attending QA, then the LRDA. No, you won't get that, Debjit. Himank, after solving two sets, should we solve theta questions of other sets or look for easy questions? Ideally, look for easy questions, and then after the time crunch, add theta questions 1 या 0 या 4 या 6 ऐसा डाल देना अगर broad set समझ में आ जाता है तो. If one is able to solve DI questions, how fun is it that he will do well in LR? Very high, yaar. I do very well in DI and extremely well in LR. Absolutely no reason why you can't do both. Yaar, dekho, this is high school and everybody else. It is your mindset that you need to get out of. You need to start thinking that, boss, मुझे सब कुछ आता है. नहीं आता है तो, learn कर लेंगे. But don't start with saying that if I'm good in DI, I may not be good in LR or etc. kind of things. If I'm good in quant, I'm not good in VARC. Bullshit that is. I love VARC as much as I absolutely enjoy QA. And of course, I adore, if I can say, DILR. And yeah, you can have 3 girlfriends if you want, or 3 boyfriends if the girls want to look at it. It's okay. And we can be committed to all 3 of them also, the way I want to be as far as the cat is concerned. Okay? Please do that. Sir, I find it hard analyzing mocks. How we should do it? This, Suyash, is a different set. Ravi, I want you to come back because this is something which we need to do that for everybody. Analyzing mocks, I have taken for others. We will do a one session on purely analyzing a mock and improving upon it very soon. With that, I think I am almost done with all the questions. DILR 1000, other will get access to CL mocks as well. No, Pranav, you will not get access. Each one is an individual course. You need to buy that. Test series is an individual course, but there could be combo courses available that you can pick it up. Sir, how to get comfort with the timer? Don't see the timer, Miss Simran. आप टाइमर को देखना ही मत. मेंटली समझ में आना चाहिए कि भाई आप ज्यादा टाइम दे रही हैं. The moment you feel a little bit that you are finding it that you are giving more time, or you have a paper and a pen and it's not, it's not moving, then look at the timer and say, hey boss, I have spent 4 minutes, get out of that. That is what I would say. Which IIM for IB? All IIMs are good, yeah. From where to practice more error questions? Standard study material, handouts, sectional tests, and the mocks. Anushka, I wouldn't want to say anything at this stage in May, madam. Please don't do this. यार ये 10th class का exam नहीं है, unit full मारने का. यहाँ कुछ भी आ सकता है CAT में. You need to be 100% good in everything. Please don't leave anything right now. Sir, we would like to also have a live cat attempt with the chieftains like GP, Jijo, and Arcs. Absolutely, Abhinav Setu. We will try to do that. Thank you, unofficial God. Please also reveal us the number of participants in a mock. 100% Tejas. We always do that. We always do that. Please attend our analysis sessions. You will get absolutely correct information. Right? With that, I think I will give it back to Mr. Ravi Teja Mahavadi. Ravi, thank you for calling me. And I guess hopefully the students enjoyed this. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that was a complete power pack 3 hours of quant, DILR, and BRC, and I hope all the students enjoyed it really, really well, and took a lot home. I hope there were a lot of notes to take. Please like the video if you like the content, and please let us know in the comments section what other types of videos or what other types of content are you looking forward to from us. We will be very, very happy bringing that academic support forward to you. So thanks a lot again. I think that's it for today. See you soon again.